And welcome to the weekly Wednesday ColtsFanCole show. I am your host, ColtsFanCole, and today we're talking Chris Ballard's press conference, this week's NFL Combine, because football never ever stops, and we're talking the players' surveys. Caused a lot of controversy last year, not nearly as much this year, but the Colts went down, and boy am I pissed about it. But first, I'm presented by Rose Ink Official. Go get your fine line tattoos starting at just $120 in Lebanon, Indiana, about a half hour northwest of Indianapolis. That is Rose Ink Official. Find her on Instagram at Rose Ink Official and Rose Ink PMU if a loved one in your life or you want permanent eyeliner or permanent microbladed, semi-permanent microblading for your eyebrows. Again, that is Rose Ink Official, Rose Ink PMU on Instagram. You can find it all by Googling both, and as always, Googling Anita B. Beauty LLC. Help make ColtsFanCole's Christmases that much more special. So, big news today. Chris Ballard's press conference. Unfortunately, Shane Steichen was sick, so did not hear from him at 3:30 as expected today, but that's all right. A lot of people seem to think Ballard was hinting at taking a wide receiver. I watched the whole thing live and did not get any indication of that. But, look, it's smokescreen season. It's, hyperbolic, hinge on every word he says season. So we've been through this 7, 8 times now as a fan base. So you'd think we'd get a little used to it of him dressing things up that seem like there's something and not really. But of course there are nuggets of new news that we'll talk about. But it's always funny that I love the passion, I love the speculation. It's why I do this show. But to me, nothing indicated per usual from Chris Ballard. Insert Chris Ballard belly laugh here. But the main takeaways from the presser, and then he had a local media scrum, so he was a little more less forthcoming, I guess, for lack of a better term, in the overall presser. But then when he did the local media scrum, the big news being he confirmed that Michael Pittman Jr. will be an Indianapolis Colt this year, whether he plays on the tag or a long-term deal gets done. Saw a few rumors saying that the deal is really close to being done. Again, nothing too crazy of merit on that, but look, Michael Pittman Jr. is going to be an Indianapolis Colt. Shouldn't be a shock, but to clear up that loose end before we get into the draft, I think puts a lot of us at ease. But again, I don't think anybody who really follows this team closely was ever worried about it. He's our only tag candidate, and after giving JT his big contract, we're obviously going to give Michael Pittman Jr. a big contract, and deservedly so. A couple other points. Ballard said he has a position in mind in the local media scrum. Again, that's why I think a lot of people picked up and honed in on the receiver comments or receiver interest. But, people have given me grief all off season for a couple of years now. Chris Ballard drafts on need. So for him saying that he has a position in mind, yeah, it could be smokescreen. Who knows who's screening the screener in terms of this smokescreen season to keep all draft cards close to the vest. But, he's always draft on position of need. I'd be shocked if he is lying in this because, obviously last year we needed a quarterback. Year before we were looking at receiver. Year before pass rush, corner. And we get all those every time we need a position of need. So it shouldn't come as a shock to me that he is going to lean towards a position of need, but that's just what he's done his career. Like, they can say the best available player, but it's not true. They trade down. Like, look at Rock Ya-Sin. Drove us crazy at the time, stayed up late, and then all of a sudden we're picking the next day, and we take Rock Ya-Sin. But he does all this, talking about evaluating the draft but he always does draft position of need, and him saying he has a position in mind, kind of validates most of my assumptions. But trades always could be included in that, so even if the media, him, doesn't have all the edges, a lot of us want an edge, a lot of us want the tight end Bowers. He can move around accordingly, but a lot of people picking up could be a wide receiver hint. But again, I don't believe anything until draft day. Aside from, of course, the Anthony Richardson pick, which I saw coming from half a year away. Just kidding, mostly an educated guess, but I was right nonetheless. Speaking of AR, Ballard talked about his shoulder rehab. So lots of lessons learned from Lux that Ballard said kind of in a somber tone in this press conference. Though, I don't know how much there really is to learn. Like, I'm glad Ballard said it. I'm glad, it is kind of an elephant in the room with injury, shoulders, Luck, and how Luck was kind of away from the team. I think a key difference, though, is the youth of Richardson. Like, Luck was a proven commodity, no doubt about it. First pick in the Pro Bowl draft, franchise guy. We're gonna look the other way if he goes, to a stem cell research, repair clinic in Sweden and snowboards. Like, we're not gonna pay as close tabs to him as we are with Richardson. So, hopefully this is the only major injury Richardson gets along the way. Hopefully, any injury, but obviously it's the National Football League and things happen. But to be able to monitor more of that in house and have, a younger core, younger family, who are all about football and all about getting AR back and healthy, I think is bigger of a deal than quote unquote learning any lessons from the Luck one. Because Luck, again, brainiac he is, served him well in the league when he was here, but also led to him leaving the Colts early. And again, we don't need to go down that path. We did a couple weeks ago for the millionth time, but it's a different situation. And I'm glad that there are some things that you could learn in terms of caution. But look, Luck was really cautious too. Like, he didn't throw for, most of that off season. Like, even when he feigned Colts fans into coming back, like, he never really threw very much. So, again, I hope there are lessons to be learned. I'm just skeptical in the fact that there was much to learn after the Luck one. A couple more things on Chris Ballard's presser today. He also said in the media scrum after, Braden Smith, the right tackle, had knee surgery, and Ballard's hoping for a healthier 2024. So a lot of wrist issues, knee issues for Smith, who missed 7 games in 2023. And any Jonathan Taylor question at the beginning of the presser hurt my head. So I am blocked by most of the local media now, apparently. So I can't really call out questions. It's not as fun as it used to be. But you couldn't really hear him in the presser anyway. So, unfortunately, couldn't get that two-way sense of what was exactly being asked of Ballard's answers. But, anything Jonathan Taylor's contract, I'm just like, please, let's go on to the next one. And a new record, I guess, for Ballard. He apologized for being late to his press conference. He's usually late, and you just got to deal with it. But he apologized for being 6 minutes late. Made it a point to look at his watch. So I think he hears more noise than he lets on in terms of certain things like tardiness to his own presser. But he also had 0 swear words uttered. So that's also probably a best for Ballard. So the last few times we saw him, very, off the chain, if you will, off the cuff kind of talking. Like, I don't know. The end of last year or this past season was really tough with, how it ended. And even a few days later, he was still very upset and cussing up a storm about it. So, it's just a regular Ballard press conference to me. I didn't see too much in it, although there were a few key points newsworthy enough to talk about on this. And again, Steichen was scheduled to speak today, but was unfortunately sick, and we missed out on him saying due diligence a million times about his evaluation of draft prospects. So I'll save you that trouble from listening to Steichen again, but get well soon, Coach. Before we get to the next topic, just a reminder, about 8:50, I'll do one-on-one, so you can go ahead and hit that request button for the one-on-ones if you're watching on Spotify or YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. You can be a part of the live audience by going to the weekly Wednesday Twitter show, the ColtsFanCole show, every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern going forward. Next topic is the combine. I unfortunately can't attend. Just have family stuff come up. All good family stuff, but family stuff nonetheless should be a fun time. A lot of Colts personalities will be there, so I'm of course jealous. Have a little FOMO, but not nearly as interesting as finding your quarterback or finding other key pieces. Although it's always going to be cool to see the quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs run, test, and obviously throw. So that's on Saturday. I think starting at 1 o'clock, going late to 9. I don't think it took that long when I was there 2 years ago. Um, Thursday's defensive line and linebackers. Friday, defensive backs and tight ends. That could be a good one too. If you can't make it Saturday, Friday, I'm sure we'll be interested in a lot of DBs. We'll get to that in a second. And obviously, there's enough smoke around Bowers to be intrigued by him. Although I have my own feelings about it. We can get to later. But Saturday, again, quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, and then Sunday, offensive line. So no real big combine stories. I think the only noteworthy story that the Colts are officially hosting Texas Christian's defensive back Mark Perry, and they met with him at the Senior Bowl. So he is the only top 30 prospect that they have brought in at this time officially, are bringing in at this time officially. And the last thing on the combine, I'm sure we'll get to it, but I want the Florida State kid, Braden Fisk. So interior defensive line. Sorry if I'm saying this wrong. Braden Fisk or Fiskey. Interior D line. Look, second, third round. Like, hopefully we can retain Grover. Hopefully everybody stays healthy with Buck and Grover. Interior D line may not be the biggest deal to us, and I have no idea when this kid's going in the draft, but he said he grew up loving the Indianapolis Colts and a Peyton Manning fan. So what's not to love? Hopefully he can join the Colts in some capacity, although I do not prefer to spend our first or second rounder or even third rounder at that point on an interior D line, unless Grover, for unfortunately whatever reason, does not get re-signed. Player surveys came out, so they lit the world on fire last year. If people remember, Colts were higher in the rankings than this year, too, dropping a little bit. So the key critique was the family went from a B plus to a D. So I don't know how stark of a drop off that even is. Like, I think the big thing was like 4 more teams now offer a paid daycare, and and their top request is the daycare. So all but 4 teams have that, and the Colts are one of them. I mean, to drop from a B plus to a D on that, like, I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't pity for as much of these guys as making that they can't get free daycare and just bring their kids to it. Like, daycare is expensive for everybody else in the world. To say that they're low on the list because of that, yes, I get other teams are doing it, but I don't know. Seems kind of greedy, in my opinion, for as much as you're making. But again, to each their own. But yeah, going from 5th to 23rd merely because 4 more teams added daycare seems harsh to drop in the rankings that much. Quality of food increased a little bit, as well as nutritionist. Increased a lot a bit, I'd say. Went from a D to a C and B minus. Not much more to say. I guess better food, tastes better healthy for you. That's good. That's something I definitely approve on. And then locker room, B plus to a B, so pretty much stalemate. Individual lockers, enough room. That's fine. Went from 10th to 11th on that. Training staff from 2023 to 2024 went from an A plus to a B minus. So unfortunate there. Rusty Jones just retired, so took. It makes no sense if he's leading the whole thing. A lot of the same guys tied for first, and then to drop to 23rd, but with a B minus from an A plus. So we got a new voice in the training staff room. We'll get to a little bit. Introduce you to him. Maybe that'll change, but again, not too big of a drop off, but noticeable. Training room B to a B minus. Strength coaches A to a C. Weight room B to a C. Team travel F to a D. get a better plane, I guess, and then last one was team travel. So, ownership was a C that wasn't previously given last year. I mean, I get it. You know, if you're a top end player, you love Ursay. If you're a mid tier player, I can see why you'd be a little, disappointed or not as adoring of him. But he takes care of his premier players, especially when they win. But I understand the eccentric side if you're like a young player trying to make the roster back into the roster and being like, this guy seems to be in a lot of stuff and kind of quirky. But love Irsay nonetheless. That should be an A no matter what. And speaking of Jim Irsay, and go ahead and hit that request button. We'll go a few minutes past 8:50, but that's okay. Got a lot of good stuff to cover, but hit that request button for one-on-ones. We'll get to them as soon as I get through these last few updates. Jim Irsay's update. So per Joel Erickson, today, Ballard said, we stay in touch. He's progressing well. We're talking. Shane Steichen and I have talked to him multiple times, and we keep him informed of anything. No further details on the recovery. And Jim Irsay is aware of the decision-making process all along the way. And Ballard says, look, at the end of the day, we're not going to do anything without his approval. So they still keep him in the loop, and he knows, what he wants to do and loves his team and making his way and hoping he's doing well. He's getting better. So great to hear about the boss man. Love Jim Irsay. Love that he's informed, and love that Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen are running things up the pole to him. But again, they have full autonomy, it seems, in their decision-making process. Speaking of the new coach from earlier for the strength and conditioning side, welcome to the Colts. New director of sports performance, Mike Minnis. He spent the last 8 years with the Eagles, his most recent title being the director of sports performance, nutrition, assistant strength, and conditioning coach. He takes over for the retired Rusty Jones, who was in the NFL since, I think, 87-ish. So again, we gave Rusty Jones a congratulations a few weeks ago, and now we give a welcome to Mike Minnis from the Eagles. A couple of miscellaneous, and we'll get to pulling a Colts card and then one-on-ones. Go ahead and hit that request button if you haven't already. We will speak to every speaker who wants to speak and all the one-on-ones. Miscellaneous, usually don't talk about other players, but he's been rumored enough worth mentioning. L'Jarius Sneed is likely to be tagged or facilitated some sort of trade. People are saying day 2 pick. I'm pretty uninterested if it takes a trade. I want a free agent corner. I don't want to give up assets to go get a corner unless it's like a premier guy. Sneed's good enough, but on terms of like a second, third round pick for him, maybe third, but I think we would get outbid for it. So I'd rather sign whatever free agent corner we can, the best available still, and build through the draft and keep the picks there. So it has to really pique my interest to be able to give up assets this close to the draft for a corner. On Saturday, I think through a few weeks into March, Kylan Granson's Charities collecting kids' books. So go to your local Kroger if you are a native Hoosier. I don't know where there's Krogers everywhere, right? I don't know. I don't know where grocery stores were located, but Granson's collecting kids' books in Indiana Kroger, so go donate one if you can. As well as congratulations to Julian Blackman. He is now engaged per his Instagram. So great video of him getting on one knee, proposing to his girlfriend, now fiance. Hopefully they can spend their time in Indianapolis, bring back Julian Blackman. And another congratulations to Anthony Richardson. He is engaged and his fiance is pregnant. So we don't know much about her. Her last name is Richardson, oddly enough. But she posted on Instagram the baby shower looking thing, announcement shower. And Richardson proposed at that. So great moment there. Anthony Richardson's going to become a man, soon enough. And he's on the track to do that. So great to see there, and wishing them both the best. And one caveat on the Richardson thing. I've already commented on the tweet, but look, if you think you on Twitter, again, no one here, no one who listens to this show, but if you on Twitter think you are so good at, getting women or your looks or whatever. If you're an anonymous Twitter account and you are talking down to a pro quarterback's wife about her looks, you can go fuck yourself. And I don't care if you're not a fan of the team, whatever. Players' wives, players' baby mamas, like, unless they're really causing trouble on the internet, that's just off limits. Like, that is just terrible from every other fan base. And yeah, of course, it was a Bostonian fan base, or at least the Avatar. Who knows how big of a troll that guy is, but the dehumanization of people based on their looks is just atrocious. So fuck that guy. It's on site anytime I see your anonymous Twitter picture. You incel coward. Couple more things, and then we'll get to one-on-ones. No show last week. Missed the cap room increasing. I think it's huge to retain some of our own and have some room in the budget left over again. I want a free agent corner. And Anthony Richardson, speaking back to him, he has 2 new songs. I rated them both. So if you remember last year, I went through and ranked all of Anthony Richardson's 17 solo. I know he has probably about 24, 5 songs, but I ranked all 17 of his solo works and added those 2 where they fit in. Favorite song is probably about his new fiance, so go check that out. Got to give some love to my guy Zach Hicks, a few others. He always credits, but I know it's Zach Hicks's baby child. Go check out his indie draft guide. The pre-order is now available. So with that, let me draw a Colts card. Hit that request button. Let's chit chat on here as I almost knocked my laptop over while trying to grab a Colts card. Oh god, don't fall. Oh, it's on the cord. Oh, it's on the cord. All right, hold on. Okay. All right, there we go. This new stand's cool. I'll have to show. All right, drawing a Colts card out of the random Colts card pile. We have an autographed Nick Cross card. Did not remember buying this one, but I have an autographed Nick Cross card apparently. So one of the rookie tickets. I'm not the biggest fan of the rookie ticket cards. They kind of have the like generic type of panini. I'll post it here, but it looks like a ticket. They've been doing it for years. I have a cool Keontae Dawson one, but yeah. So Nick Cross, just 20 years old when the Colts drafted him. Cross proved he belonged when he earned a starting spot for week 1. He did. I am shocked by that. The 2022 third rounder out of Maryland played every defensive snap in the overtime opener against Houston. A 20-year-old at this level, DB coach Ron Miles said, that is kind of unique. At Maryland, he had 66 tackles, 4 defended, 3 interceptions in his last year, 5 total interceptions for his Maryland career. So let's hope Nick Cross takes yet another step forward. Let's go to our first caller. We got Julian. Julian, welcome back to the show, man. Always good to have you on. Big win for Inter. I bet on it. Parlayed it with who was Napoli. So huge payout there. Got to bet soccer favorites. What's up, my guy? What's new in Colts world from your point of view? Thanks for coming back on, Julian.
Hey, Cole. Thank you for having me back. Yeah, man. Life is good. Life is good right now. Talk about Inter. I just got done watching the game today. I see you, Roma too. We're cooking this past week
Oh
too.
yeah.
I see you, man. Yeah, we might try to bring Dybala to Milan, but we'll see. We'll talk about that. uh, no, yeah. So I did see a little bit of Chris Ballard's podcast. Sorry, I can't even talk today. I seen his conference that he did today, and towards the end I caught it, and he looked really happy. He looks energized. I think for a while, maybe in a long time, he has a vision of what he wants to do. Maybe he might start taking chances with this team, and starts gambling and starts going after these big free agents. And I'm not saying like go after everybody, but at least key positions that if we can get one or two can really help us out. Like just roll the dice, Ballard, and we'll see. Because you know what I mean. I think, and it's just think about NFL. If you can solve the quarterback, or at least not have to worry about the quarterback, then things start clicking. And I think the fact that Anthony Richardson is unanimously our quarterback this going into the season makes things that much easier. And the fact that we got Shane Steichen there too, so we got the coach locked down. So I'm really excited to see what he does. And looks like Michael Pittman. And to be honest, Michael Pittman, he's a terrible liar, bro. I swear he's a terrible liar because this man ain't leaving Indy, bro. The way he could say all he wants and he can get all the word, but this man is stationary. He knows he's the main character when it comes to the offense of this team, pass catching wise. And even if we tag him, I think they'll probably do that to give him more time. But if he gets tagged, or one thing I don't want to ask you, maybe Cole, you could tell me
Sure.
if he gets tagged, he can't like talk to other teams yet, right? You can
So
you can't talk on a tag, or can you? I never understood that.
yeah, so there's two ways to do it. The exclusive tag, which would cost more money, so a lot of teams roll the dice on the non-exclusive tag. So a team would have to offer two first-round picks to be able to get him. Has only happened since the 2000 Joey Galloway trade, Seahawks and Cowboys. So very rare that it happens, but yeah, he can technically talk to other teams. So a lot of people, if you remember the Lamar Jackson to the Colts stuff, where we'd still have to give up two first rounders and offer Lamar a crazy contract, that the Ravens would still have a chance to match. It's that situation. So in theory, yeah, he could potentially go somewhere else, but I just very unlikely. Again, only since Joey Galloway in 2000 has a team actually been able to move a player off of the non-exclusive tag.
Yeah, that's how I was confused. I was like, because I was thinking if you can tag him just to save you some time to be able to negotiate a deal that everybody would like, but if he still can talk to, but I'm pretty comfortable that I think they'll get a deal done, and see where he figures. And the way he's speaking, talking about all the tags, even a lot of money, that tells me Michael Pittman is not really like trying to break the bank. And I think as long as he gets something maybe north of 25, yeah, I think he'll be good. So that spot is taken care of. I didn't. You have any Ursay news? I must have missed that part if he spoke about it.
Yeah, so Ballard did talk to, I think Erickson caught it. So Ballard did the initial presser, and then he did a local media scrum after, which was less formal. And he said, we stay in touch. He's progressing well. Talks to him multiple times a day, him and Steichen, whether it be text or call, and keep him informed. So no really further about his recovery, but Ballard did say he's doing better, and of course they seek his approval in a lot of what they do. So he's keeping him in the loop, and Ursay seems to be responsive. So and he's pretty active on Twitter again. I mean, not
Yeah, I
nearly
saw that.
obviously what he was, but still talking. Robert Mathis stuff, Reggie Wayne stuff, a lot more charities. The Colts like youth 7-on-7, even though it's from a high school rival coach that he retweeted, Jamie Comer of Danville. He was my middle linebackers coach my senior year. Offensive turned into an offensive coordinator with the Stars, won 3 state titles, and then went to a conference rival. But it's okay because the Stars are getting out of that conference. But I digress. Yeah, he seems to be doing better. So much love to Jim Irsay.
I saw the cap space. I'm terrible with these cap stuff, but I saw the money like went significantly up compared to the previous season. Where do you know where the Colts rank in that?
I
Have they
don't.
have they released numbers?
Yeah, hopefully, feel free to request and hop on here if you know the cap situation. I know we're top 10. I think sounds right. So I follow. Is it Colts cap guy Kyle? He's kind of a unique one. Doesn't really follow many people back. His audience could be way bigger if he did. But yeah, he's usually kind of in the know with that. I know it's able to get up into the well because people said like 80, 90 million, but that's just not true after we like sign everybody. But I think it's like 30 million more than what we had. But again, that's across the board. So it's kind of weird that yes, it's like good, but also like everybody gets it. Um, so it's like yes, it's up, but then that means Pittman will be more expensive. Like supposedly, Grover, Kenny, all these guys will be more expensive, but we're able to retain them all. It's just that floor gets raised if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think usually like If Rams can do it, Buccaneers can do it. All these other teams are able to just reconstruct these players and get the money up. And I just want it to be good use, to be honest. That's my. At the end of the day, it's you know what I mean. I'm not saying throw money at everybody that you see or everybody that walks, but we got to get some help in here. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people want that premier corner. A lot of people want that premier receiver. Just give me somebody, because this season I want to go in there loaded. I really believe this season could be a projection to what we could see in the future. I don't know if that video of Jonathan Taylor was new and old, but boy, that boy looked good, man. He looked good cutting, doing those drills, and the fact that Anthony Richardson is trying to get back in the game and started throwing. It gives me really hope. It gives me really hope. Uh, what I was gonna say is there any corner that we know for sure is gonna be allowed to speak to anybody? Has that came out? Because I heard a lot of people's mostly getting tagged.
Yeah, not really. Honestly. Oh, sorry. From Augustine here. Always a pleasure, Augustine, to have you listening. Sixth most, so we sit at 72.3 million in cap space and 68.1 in effective space. Fifth most. So, yeah, definitely went up and top 10. Not 10. Love that. Sixth and fifth for space. So, um, sorry. What was your question one more time?
No, like, is there any
Oh, corners. That's right.
corner or even I guess because I heard Higgins got tagged, so that's gonna be fun to watch. But I don't know what the situation like any premier player that has been allowed to that you've seen. It doesn't even have to be corner that you've seen has been allowed to speak to other teams about trade, like that you would think would be good for Colts to pick up or at least entertain.
Sure. Yeah, Sneed, I think was the only one, but the Kansas City corner. But it sounds like he'll either be retained or likely facilitate like a conditional trade with his rights. So I'm immediately uninterested in that. I just would prefer to keep the picks and sign like top two, three, offer them all like the same deal. Corners evaluated or similar deals, and the Bears have been cutting people, but I don't know if anything's official with the Johnson corner, and there's a few others there. So not at top of mind as anybody like really jump off. I think Snead was the big news.
Okay, let me ask you the last question. I'll hop off. What would you be willing if you're the GM of Indianapolis and let's say Justin Jefferson was out? What would you be willing to give up for him?
Gosh, I mean, the only thing I'm a little worried. I mean, all these like premier wide receivers, you always wonder, are they going to fit in the locker room? I think we don't have to really worry about that much now. I think our locker room's solid enough, knows the trajectory of where we're headed, and Steichen can kind of keep everybody humble enough. A lot of egos had to be managed before the Jonathan Taylor extension, really, and I think Steichen did a good job of it. So fit, I'm not worried about. Picks, gosh, it would take one and some change, maybe one in like a 4-3.
Also,
And
you're not doing two ones.
I don't want to.
Uh,
I think if we want a stud wide receiver, this is the draft to do it and trade up into the top 10. Like maybe you can get that Aduzier from Washington. Maybe you can trade back into the first and get like a neighbors or something like that. But I don't know. I would rather trade up or back into the first round and get a wide receiver on a rookie contract than break the bank and have to give up multiple firsts. I know it's Justin Jefferson, but still, it just I just don't want to do it.
Respect, respect. And the last thing I was going to say that you were alluding to about that, I saw that earlier about the Richardson, and I don't know, to be honest. That's the problem with these non-face, non-name accounts. They think just because nobody knows who they are, where they are, they're free to say whatever they want, and that's disgusting, bro. Like that rubbed me the wrong way, and hopefully, I don't know if technically I don't think anybody's gonna step in when it comes to like X or anybody else, but it just that's just wrong, bro. Like leave everybody's personal life, personal business off. You know what I mean? And keep it sports based. If you want to say this player sucks, yada yada, that's your opinion. But at the end of the day, like let's just not go personal with things. But I appreciate it, Cole. I'll be in the listeners. Hopefully, be in the group discussion.
Yeah, appreciate it, Julian. Yeah, hit the nail on the head. We all saw the tweet from a Boston fan account, just terrible, and it's like Julian said it best. Don't comment on personal appearance. You can critique a lot of stuff, but to go after player wives, girlfriends, um, in a physical way is just horrific. So fuck that guy, and I'm sure all of his 1,000 followers are just like him in the Boston area. So gross. But who is up next? Oh no, requesters, hit that request button. We can go to free agent trackers since we're talking corner until someone hits that request button. So talked about Snead. That's going to seemingly take some more effort to get to. I don't know. The Bears have been cutting people, but I don't know if that Johnson guy is officially on the market yet. Um, but we can check that out. Let's go to Sarah. In the meantime, we'll get to that in a second. Sarah, thanks for coming back onto the show. Always a pleasure. What is up, Sarah? Combine this week. Are you excited?
I'm looking at the corners, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive line, and defensive lines as well.
Yeah. Anybody? Cooper DeJean. I know you're an Iowa fan. He's been
Yeah,
he's been rumored to the Colts a little bit. Is that someone you'd be interested in?
yeah. You know what's funny is he's actually friends with Anthony Richardson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know that until I looked on Instagram the other day, and I was like, "What's he following Anthony Richardson for?" I was like, "That's funny."
Yeah,
Um,
who knows? All these players go to all these camps
they
and
probably
grow up, and
intermingle with each other somehow, some way.
yeah, yeah.
I also like the receivers, Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU. He's really good. Xavier Worthy from Texas. Adonye Mitchell from Texas. Troy Franklin from Oregon. Jalen McMillan, is another guy you could look at too from Washington, besides Rome Odunze and Jalen Polk. All three of those guys are really solid. Brennan Rice from USC, Jerry Rice's son's pretty good
Ooh, I like that.
as well. Far as corners, I really like Terrion Arnold, Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry. Um, far as the edge rushers, I'd say Dallas Turner, Latu would be my two guys for edge rushers. And then far as running backs, I kind of like Braylon Allen from Wisconsin, Blake Corum from Michigan. Those guys would be something we could look on maybe like the third or fourth round.
What do you value in this first? What do you hope to see the Colts do? Edge or you like
I
the
think wide receiver, tight end.
okay.
I
You,
just think that that would be bigger needs because really the corners we could go in and get a decent corner in the second round.
and would you want to trade up at all for wide receiver, tight end? I'm assuming like Bowers is
Yeah,
obviously,
but
or would you
maybe
kind
like
of
a
want to stay put?
Bowers or a Malik Neighbors or Roma Dunzier. Those would be the three guys I would say would be about the only ones I would trade up for.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious about Latu if he's worth going to get up for, or where even these guys are going to be mock draft. I
I
mean, we're
think
all
I
going to
could see
be.
Dallas Turner going number 9 to Chicago.
Yeah, I just want the best person who can put their hand in the dirt on third down and get to the passer. I think that
Yeah.
that's like the one thing that can take this defense from good to great. And trading up, maybe not like a first and a second, but like a first and a third. Where how many spots can we jump other people if we're kind of getting word they're going to take who we want. That's kind of my thinking, but I'm okay with staying put, but I would rather move up. But realistically, we're going to
So
trade
the far
down.
as the corners for free agency, Jadobi Owesie, he's really good. Besides, I would really like to have L'Jarius Sneed, but that's my best friend's a Chiefs fan. So I guess I know a little bit more about him. Kendall Fuller is another guy that would be pretty solid, from the Commanders. Another guy you could look at, maybe besides, getting Kenny Moore would be Adoree Jackson from the Giants because he would fit, Gus Bradley's system pretty well. And then Sean Murphy Bunning, that's another guy you could look at from the Titans.
Yeah, we also got Rock Ya-Sin and Stephon Gilmore if you want
Yeah.
any blasts from the past.
Yeah, but I think Gilmore is getting kind of old, and I kind of don't want to go old,
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
would.
then far as the receivers, that are free agents, I would say maybe Tyler Boyd would be another guy you could look at.
Yeah, yeah, he's very
Um,
likely to be available with Higgins being a
um,
franchise tag.
Curtis Samuel, that's another guy. That doesn't get, hasn't gotten a lot of, credit or, anything like that. As far as backup quarterbacks, I would look at Tyler Huntley and Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, you don't tell me that, Sarah. You know who I want as backup quarterback, don't you?
Yeah, Tyler Huntley.
No, Gardner. We got to bring back Gardner. You. A guy wins you 9 games. Just
I
with your
think if the
starting
money's
quarterback
right,
going,
I would be okay bringing him back, but the money's got to be right.
it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Overpay for him. We paid Jacoby how much for the deal?
I think 6 or 7 million would be okay for
Yeah,
Minshew.
cap space went up. Like pay your corner. Ride out Gardner, and then come back at right before the
Definitely
draft
Kenny Moore
and lock
needs
him
to be
up.
re-signed. I'd say Kenny Moore and Michael Pittman Jr. are the big two must re-signs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then, maybe Grover and Blackman, but I think we could get a better safety, to be honest.
Yeah, it just depends. I've seen the draft a little bit. I'm not a
I
draft
want
expert by any
Cameron
means.
Curl or Jeremy Chin.
Yeah, Jeremy Chin would be cool. Local Indiana guy too. Always root for that.
But the one guy I would also look at in the draft, first the defensive line guys is that Brendan Fisk guy from Florida State. I really like that kid. He's really good.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure our resident Florida State expert will have a lot to say on that one.
Another safety you could look at in free agency, maybe Xavier McKinney from the Giants or Geno Stone from the Baltimore Ravens. Those
It,
guys are pretty good as well.
yeah, very very well could be. Um, Sarah, anything else? We hope to keep you around for group discussion.
Yeah, I'm just been watching a lot of Eric Ogg would be another guy you could look at for his tight ends as well from Iowa. Another guy you could look at is Sanders from Texas, and then Theo Johnson as well from Penn State.
Cool. Yeah, I appreciate it, Sarah. A wealth of knowledge with all the names and places. So appreciate that. And yeah, I hope we get your corner too, Cooper, Dejan, and trade back in the first or something. Kind of spice it up. But yeah, I think going defensive end first would be smart. And maybe a wide receiver if the spot presents itself, but only after our defensive holes are
And
filled
I
up
still
through free
think Caleb
agency.
Williams is going #1 to the Bears.
Yeah, there's been all sorts of noise, but he's too talented,
I
I
think
think, to
he's
not
too
go.
talented. He's
Yeah,
just one of the best quarterbacks I've seen out of USC since like Carson Palmer days and Matt Leinart days.
yeah. You wonder who's like putting that stuff out there too, like because there was the one false rumor. It's like Caleb Williams isn't going to go to the Bears, and it's like if you're the first pick, like you're gonna go. It's not a John Elway anymore. Like we live in a
I
different kind
think
of
I could see
world.
the Commanders drafting Drake May.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And then 3 would be Jaden Daniels from going to the Patriots. The Patriots need him. They need a quarterback. Their quarterback situation sucks.
yeah. Yeah, they said today that Jaden Daniels was Belichick's #1 on his draft list before he went. So interesting there if they hold that over or try and get rid of all things Belichick and the Patriot way if that's if that's even
I could see
possible.
Justin Fields getting traded to either the Atlanta Falcons or the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, yeah, I think he's definitely gone before draft day. That's for sure.
But
But
yeah, everybody can get on now. I'm good now.
no, appreciate it. Yeah, wealth of draft knowledge. So go check out Sarah's takes, resident Iowa Hawkeye fan and Colts fan. Great.
Yeah, if you have any questions about Iowa players, just come talk to me. If you can DM me, that's fine.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much, Sarah. Hope to keep you around for group discussion.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Sarah. I think we had Augustine next, and I see Ray Love, Blue Nation, and Undisputed. We'll get to everybody, as always, in one-on-ones and then group discussion after. Augustine, what is up, my guy? I saw you had some takes in the chat in the group chat with Ballard's presser today. Anything you want to talk about from that, or anything in Colts world at all? Welcome back, as always, Augustine. Oh, and thanks for clearing up the cap room. How much the Colts have there?
No problem, Cole. Good evening, everybody. Well, just like listening to the Ballard's presser, it was welcoming about him recognizing not doing enough for the wide receiver group. You know, after the Ashton Dulling injury, and the wide receivers that he brought in free agency. Mackenzie didn't work out at all. Uh, but if I'm not mistaken, he didn't talk that way or the same way as a cornerback Brook, because I would say that regarding compared those two groups, I think he did a worse job with the cornerbacks. After Isaiah Rogers' suspension, I don't think he did enough, even with the draft, to address the glaring need on the cornerback group. We saw that after um, Dallas Flowers' injury. The games that Juju Brents missed. Uh, you know, Even willing to put Tony Brown as a cornerback started, and so I'm just a little worried that he hasn't talked that way with the cornerback group, saying that he didn't do enough. I'm not sure if he did it, if he said it on a previous presser, maybe the end of season one, but I don't remember. Uh, so that makes me a little worried that he might be too high on this cornerback group for doing a move for a impact player this off season of free agents. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. But we have seen sometimes that Ballard is very high on on certain player, and then the player doesn't pan out. So um, let's hope he can change, or he's willing to change his approach on free agency. Now, despite that, even though we thought there were going to be teams like the Kansas City that wouldn't be able to retain Ladarius Sneed, or Chicago retaining Johnson. I think is the last name of that cornerback, which is the two top free agent cornerbacks. Uh, I think we have to recognize that with this bump on the salary cap, it might change the landscape of the Colts' possibilities of getting one of those high end free agents, because for sure these teams that we were thinking that they had to let these players go due to cap situation, they might be able to retain them with this increase on the salary cap. So would that be a thing that would change the approach of the Colts in the draft? I certainly do. Because um, probably Kansas City will be able to retain Snead, and we need that that kind of impact cornerback that will be able to um, get the best of the group right away, and like an instant impact player on the defensive side of the ball, specifically on the cornerback, which was our weakest link last season. But again, we'll see what happens on the first week of free agency. But I wouldn't be surprised either if the Colts make a push for those, prime time players. They might not get them because now the teams that we were thinking they had to let those guys go might be able to keep them with that increase in the salary cap.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Undisputed or Augustine. I did that again. I don't know why I did that. Augustine.
Welcome.
I know it's offensive. No, it's looking at his
Not at all,
profile
not at all.
picture, and yeah, I think I want to go vet in the corner room. As much as anybody, I think too. We're in the hunt. We've talked about it enough, so surely we're right, Augustine, that we want to be hitting home runs in free agency, and that way we can go into the draft, and whoever we pick virtually, we can lay our head down at night and be like, that's good. That's a good Colts offseason. We addressed our needs in free agency. We signed the best player we could at corner, and even Chris Ballard today in the press conference is all like, well, hey, we could offer the best player, but he might not come here. And I'm like, yeah, but make the offer better then. Make him say no. Get him in the building. Make him say no. Be like, hey, we're going to outbid everybody. We have the cap space to do it, fifth or sixth, however you want to interpret the room, and go from there. And once we do that, we can draft whoever the hell we want. We can even trade down. I don't want to trade down. I'd be very mad if we trade down, unless we trade back up and get 2 firsts, but that won't happen either. So I just think it's beyond time to hit that home run. And I'm like you. I have a feeling we're going to finally do it. Ballard, as animated he was in the presser right after the season, he's toned it back a little bit. He's got his plan, and let's hope he has something up his sleeve. Every so often he does something cool, and just do something cool. You have the quarterback, you have the coach, you have enough skill position players. So if you want to add to your defense by hitting a home run at corner, defensive end in free agency, pass rush, yes, do it. If you want to hit a home run by trading up for a wide receiver, okay, but please have all of the defensive needs addressed.
Yeah, indeed. There will be so many ways they will be able to get the impact player that we need at the defensive side right now. Um, it could be an scenario. I don't know. Maybe either one of the cornerback or the pass rushers that they're gonna hit free agency. If they might able to uh, to get one of those prime free agents on the defensive side, then I will think then that first round pick could be much possible on the offensive side. That's a possibility. But if you're not able to do a splash on free agency for the defensive side, then I think it's the most to go, either cornerback or pass rusher with the 15 pick. And given the fact that there are many QB needed teams on the top 10, there will be huge possibilities of many impact players on the defensive side to be available for the Colts for the 15 pick.
Yeah, you know who I'm really rooting for now in the combine? JJ McCarthy, baby. He gets picked in the top, 14, and we get 4 quarterbacks go. Gosh, we're looking pretty that a premier skill position or edge falls to us at 15. But yeah, lot to look forward to, and should be a fun few weeks here. Again, just a reminder: the legal tampering window is March 11th, and free agency signings can take place the 13th. Then, of course, the draft in late April and combine this week. Augustine, anything else before we move on to the next caller. Hope, as always, to keep you around for group discussion.
Well, just the only thing that I would have liked for in the press to have asked Ballard. I don't know if it was something that he couldn't talk about. If I wanted to know about Jelani Wood's status. I think the draft approach or even the free agency approach regarding the tight end group will depend of if he's like completely healthy or not. Because like without him, I still think like even we had Mallory and Granson and Moali Cox. I think it's one of the groups that has a lot of questions coming to the 2024 season.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he talked about Braden Smith's knee injury, so he probably just wasn't asked directly about it. But yeah, I hear you there. Yeah, I don't. I think it would change a little more. It's the same as Anthony Richardson. If you caught the first 20 minutes of my monologue section talking about Richardson versus Luck, whenever Ballard's like lessons learned, about the shoulder injury, like the key difference in that situation and situations when evaluating these young players, like they're not proven. Like Luck was proven before he got hurt. Like Richardson, love him. I think he's the guy. All of us mostly think he's the guy. And he's still not proven. So to go into a draft, obviously quarterback's different, especially at the place we took him at, but to go into the draft and be like Jelani Woods, no doubt about it. We've seen enough from him. He's our tight end one. We don't need Brock Bowers if he falls to us. Um, I'm warming up a touch to the Bowers talk, but I'm still not in love with it by any means because, like you're right, like Mallory, Granson, Jelani. I love Mo Alley Cox. Realistically, he's probably done in Indy, but you can't um, sit here and tell me that we're fine going into next season with that group. But you also can't really convince me that it's worth taking a top 15 pick if we don't address certain needs in free agency like corner and another skill wide receiver. So I'd rather go all those before tight end. Tight end would be like a cherry on top of, yes, super athletic freak, can't miss prospect, sure. Yeah, Brock Bowers can be all that, but until those other needs are addressed, and Ballard said it today, I have a position in mind, whether that's a smokescreen or not. I think it's all important things to do well before you get a position that is good, not great, but before you improve on that while we do have all these other names still under contract. But appreciate it, Augustine. We'll hope to keep you around for the group discussion. Let's get to Blue Nation, and then I see you, Ray Love and Undisputed. Blue Nation, what is up? An OG on here, been around forever. Blue Nation, what's on your mind headed into Combine Week?
In the Combine Week, I want to see some good corners that we need. We need help at cornerback.
Yeah, for sure. Corner and tight ends have the same day, that day 2 Friday, so I'll definitely be multitasking as I work with that on the TV. So yeah, again corner I'd prefer in free agency, and then find someone midway through the draft as well to kind of shore that up, especially if we don't sign Kenny. But is that kind of your thoughts, or do you want to go corner round 1?
If Kool-Aid is if Terrell Arnold is there at 15, we take him.
Okay, like that boldness. Any yeah, go ahead.
And then MPJ, I heard that Chris Ballard said that he wants to retain MPJ.
Yes, that is correct. So he was not as firm in the presser today that was publicly aired live, but in the media scrum after with the locals, he did say that Michael Pittman Jr. is going to be an Indianapolis Colt, whether he plays on the tag or whether a long-term deal gets done. And again, seen a few sources I trust that say like the deal is close to being done. So curious
He
how
was saying something about that him and Pittman's agent have been talking about a negotiation for a new contract.
Yep. Yep. So hopefully that gets squared away. And look, it's going to cost the team a lot more money than it did last year. I thought it was a no doubt about it. You lock him up before Jonathan Taylor. But here we are, and we got Taylor at a good price for his 3-year deal, and Pittman's going to be significantly more expensive and at a premium price. But hey, that's the game you play. Ballard said all along he wants to see how both pieces fit into the Steichen offense, and at this point, I think most of us can be hidden well enough on the Steichen offense for how good of an offensive mind he is.
Before I let somebody else talk, or else we go with the round table.
No, take as long as you want, man.
Okay. So, what about Julian Blackman? Will we retain him, or we go get a different strong safety?
Yeah, he's an interesting one because it sucks. He reminds me of Malik Hooker, where at first he was like can't miss, like really good. Got injured unfortunately, although he rebounded better from his injury than Malik did. Had a really strong last year, so that helps his personal pocketbook. But I just don't. I don't know. That one could go either way for me, honestly. I legit don't know. I more think Kenny stay. I bet it's one or the other. I bet it's Kenny or Julian. I don't think it's both of them. If I had to guess.
What about Big Grove? Does he come back or does he walk?
Yeah, that's another one where it seemed like a done deal. When you get outside the emotion of the season, but he did have the PED thing, and like, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, maybe it was whatever mistake happened with nutrition, but he's 30, coming off that, and um, media darling though, social media darling. We love to use him in all the promo. Um, I hope he stays, but he is older as well, and a lot of money is tied up in Buckner still.
Yeah. And then one more final question, and then that's gonna be it. And then, what's like how is AR doing with his rehab so far?
Yeah, Ballard talked about it today. So we saw the video posted by his agent. Gosh, what was that? 2 weeks ago now. He had the real dark shades on, multicolored hair, and I only say that because there was a brief moment where we thought he was throwing, but it was an old video. But nonetheless, a day or two later, him and his agent posted the video of him actually throwing that day. So. Ballard mostly said he just learned a lot of lessons from Luck's injury. Still reiterated he's 6 to 8 weeks ahead of schedule, but still being cautious with that. Again, the sour taste and Luck's shoulder injury, Ballard being there, although it is different timelines. Different players for sure, different age of players, different success level of players, but he's throwing, taking it slow, and hopefully can get fully cleared, after the draft and kind of go down to Florida like he did last year with Garner and throw with the guys. I'd love to see that, but ahead of schedule, but cautiously throwing the football. And even in the videos you saw, one was a slow mo, one was regular speed, but he's not ripping it. It's not jumping out of his hands like we saw it, training camp, preseason, postseason, or regular season. So he's getting there ahead of schedule, but cautiously throwing.
All right, thanks, ColtsFanCole.
Yeah, appreciate it. Blue Nation, as always, please stick around for group discussion if you can. Let's get to Ray Love up next, and then Undisputed, and then we'll get into group discussion. But first, we got Ray Love, my man. What is up? New profile picture since you've last been on the show. He's feeling himself. What's up, my guy?
Oh, you know it. You know it. I've been getting fresh. I've been stepping out in Indy and catching the pulse of the city.
Love that,
Hey,
man. How's it feeling? You around? You seen any combine stuff? I haven't been downtown in a few days.
um, where the part I've been of downtown, not too much. I haven't been towards the Georgia street side of things just yet. I've been more around Bankers Life, going around there in that area. So not really too much combine to what I've noticed yet. But I'm looking hopefully to get out there and push some kids to the side and try to run a 40-yard dash to show everyone I still have it.
Hey, be careful, man. I did that at the they let us on the field after, gosh, what was that? The Browns game, whatever. We wore the alt jerseys. Pulled my
Oh, I
hamstring immediately.
remember.
Pulled my hamstring immediately.
Did you stretch beforehand?
Oh God, no.
See, there you go. You didn't stretch and you didn't drink enough water.
Hey, I always drink enough water. That's for sure. The stretching,
but
no.
but let me say this. I appreciate you for bringing me up, Cole, before Mr. Cracker Barrel down there sitting in the listeners. Um, but let me say this about the Ballard's press conference is that I like themes of going into the season, and I've kind of already put a theme on what we're going to call this season, and we're going to call this season John 7, verse 13. Well, no. I'm sorry. Excuse me for messing that up. We're going to call this season John 13, verse 7, because that scripture says, you may not understand what I am doing now, but here, therefore, after, you will. And that's going to be the motto, baby, because Chris Ballard, he's about to make things get real freaky around here. You hear what he said. Anthony's explosive. He wants to get explosive. So look for some splash to start coming. I don't know whether it's going to come in free agency or in the draft, but there's gonna be some flash, baby, and there's gonna be some explosion. So get your seatbelts ready when you come to Lucas Oil, because we're about to blow the roof off the building if it goddamn it ain't already open. So that's one thing I took from the press conference. Another thing I took from the press conference is this: Ballard sees the vision now. He has his guide. He knows what he needs to do. Now all this talk about corner was a weak area and this and that, guys. I'm telling you, Ballard sees the vision. You want to let your guys take your lumps. Let the young guys take the lumps, and we'll deal with it on the back end, baby. Because this was supposed to be a, a slight rebuilding year, but when you ran it back like you did and you gave the players who didn't have a successful 22 year come back and have a chip on the shoulder with something to prove, you see what you get. Now it's time to not just strive to look to win a division. It's not time for that anymore. I'm looking Super Bowl. You got your quarterback to get it done. Um, and let me say this too. This is a quick sidebar. I seen the whole Anthony Richardson thing with his child's mother about whatever the guy said. I can't remember. I see so much on the daily. Whatever the guy said. Let me say this. I went to the Instagram. Well, let me say this. I did some investigative reporting, and I found her Instagram. And might I say, she's a nice piece of work. Respectfully, respectfully, but she's a nice piece of work. So I don't know what that guy was talking about. He doesn't have a eye for looks. I'll just say that. Keep it a little PG. But yeah. So this is all I gotta say, guys. Before and I'm not gonna ramble too long because I want to go shoot some craps later on with some friends. But Chris Ballard, he's on a mission. He knows what he needs to do. Let the man cook. Let the man cook. Now I know everybody's gonna bring up this. Oh, it's been 8 years and this and that. Yeah, one division, one playoff win in 8 years and two playoff appearances in 8 years, and they're gonna throw around this whole 8 year number. I don't want to hear it. Let it go. Let it go. Chris Ballard had 1 year with a solidified quarterback option. Don't give me Rivers. Don't give me Brissett. Don't even give me Wentz. And you damn sure better not give me Matt Ryan as a comeback either. Chris Ballard has his guy. Chris Ballard is now on the clock. It's time to build this team out It's no more excuses. Chris Ballard is on the clock. It's time to get it done. Now, we can rightfully judge him on everything going forward because he has the quarterback. And everyone knows the quarterback is the position you got to have. You can't dance around it. And he's danced around it for the last few years. But the dancing has stopped. The dancing has stopped. Now you got the girl who you want to dance with. Now it's time to show her your moves, Ballard. It's time. So let the man cook. Just let the man cook. And let's not judge him and say, oh, why did he get this B+ player? Let's let this thing play out. Let it play out. Because the signing that you're making March, that just very well may be the signing that puts you over the top. So no matter who he signs, let's let these guys go on the field. Let's see what happens. And here's another thing. Give Ballard a break. If you guys want to come out to training camp and get the nachos, get off his back and let him do his job. So that's all I got right now. Bring Mr. Cracker Barrel, Mr. Thick Booty up, so he can say his piece and whatever he wants to say with his thick self.
Hey, I would pay to see you guys shoot craps together.
Hey, I won about $10 off my uncle. We were only shooting $1 bills. Hey, I haven't got my income tax just yet, but
Hey,
when I do, I might take it up to $5.
there we go. Hey, you guys shoot craps together. You slide an Instagram or DMs together. You gotta no. I'll leave it at that. Appreciate it, Ray Love.
No problem. I'll stay around.
All right, thanks, man. And of course, as always, we save him for last to go into group discussion because he has the spiciest of takes on Colts Twitter. It is undisputed himself. Gave your guy, Florida State guy, some love today. Says he wants to be a Colt, one of many. What are your takes on the upcoming combine, or do you want to roast Ray Love first? The choice is yours.
Fucking Ray just fucking gave me fucking cancer. I feel like, dude, Jesus Christ. I can't take the fucking Ballard sipping. It's driving me insane. Braden Fisk, yes, awesome. One thing that is annoying me today is there is I think it was Colts coverage or whatever that guy is, just different pages calling him Indianapolis trying to claim players that are not from Indianapolis as their hometown kid annoys the fuck out of me. He is from Michigan City. He's from the region. He is from our area. We claim him, not Indianapolis. I've heard him called a hometown native and all this shit. He is not from Indianapolis. Or no, an Indy. Someone called him an Indy native, and I'm like, dude, it's not. He's not from Indianapolis. And nobody calls Indiana Indy. Indianapolis is Indy. Don't try to poach our players. Fisk is he's a Northwest Indiana region rat. So yeah, just had
region
to
rat. Hey, you're embracing the
is.
term. There we go.
Listen, I'm the one that I put you on him months ago. Remember, I'm like, hey, remember, he's from Indiana. You love the guys from Indiana. So I love that everyone's catching up to me. Months later.
What's his
revolutionary.
grade? Do you know? What round is he projected, or you don't really know until the combine?
Originally, pre-Senior Bowl, holy cow, dude. Okay, so I don't know if I'm lagging. I just got a message from Brightspeed. 22 hours. Wait. The only timeline I was able to find was approximately 22 hours before service is active. Jesus Christ. My internet's been out for all day. So it was 5th, 6th round. I was seeing him in mocks, and I was like, "Holy shit! If you get him in the 5th or 6th round, I would praise Ballard for once for doing something right." But now after the Senior Bowl, where he was pretty unanimous. Everyone had him as he actually switched teams, which hadn't been done, I don't think, ever, because of an injury or something. I forget exactly why. I don't. But he dominated the Senior Bowl. He looked amazing. Yeah. So now I've been seeing him more in the third, fourth, some in the third. So I think that's about where he's going to go.
I'd be thrilled to get if we're able to pay a corner. Again, we have our priorities, but if we were to not sign Grover, I'd be a little sad. But if we're able to get a guy like that in the third, address other needs in the first two rounds,
I mean,
then I'm all about it.
My first defensive tackle that I would want is Sweat from Texas. I mean, if you can get him like in the second round, I wouldn't think twice about it. I mean, he's that good. I mean, I'd let Grover walk fucking tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. But no. So one of the things I want to say that you said you didn't want to, like, if you were to give up like a third this year or even a second, maybe even a second, or maybe a third this year, try to get it like some future picks. You go for Snead. I know you don't want to give up draft picks, but like those top corners, they likely don't hit free agency for a reason. They tag them. Like T. Higgins isn't going to be on the Bengals. He's going to get traded. And, people that Justin Jefferson, yeah, it sounds cool. And, I'd love that too. But it's just like you can't have, like when it comes to the receivers, you can't have that much into your two receivers. So that's not going to happen. But like Snead, yeah, you trade for Snead. If you can get an all-pro, like, I think you were acting like I don't know the tone I got. Like,
yeah, I don't.
Like he's an all pro. Like he's probably a top 5 to 6 corner in the league right now. Like if you can get him, you go fucking get him. Like 100%. I wouldn't give a first, and I'd be reluctant to give a second. But if you can give a third, and maybe a third next year, or a third this year and a second next year, or something like that, dude, you fucking go do that shit for sure.
Yeah, I think the apprehension is probably that one, the realistic. We're not going to do it. Like, as soon as I saw that Schefter like tweeted he's either going to get tagged or a conditional trade or something like that, I immediately tweeted, well, the dream's over. Like, it's not going to happen. I think that's mostly my apprehension. Not that I don't want it to happen, but even like a second, yeah, I guess. I just we're not even going to outbid for him anyway. If there's any sort of.
I mean, we talk about taking a corner in the second. Like, oh, yeah, we can find a corner in the second. But, like, we're, like, reluctant to fucking trade for an all-pro corner right now. Like, what? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I'd rather do it in free again.
Yeah,
I'd rather spend top dollar on a top free agent and then fill the roster out that way without touching the picks.
But those free agents aren't – those top dollar corners are going to get tagged so that they don't give away for nothing. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'd rather just take a
but
vet,
as far as
like the
as
best
far as
available
Ballard
vet.
Today, that presser today, Ballard is just the king of just bullshitting his way through fucking everything. And to hear the people defend him the way he does, I mean, he literally cost us the division. His ignorant bullshit, not doing anything with the corner room. I said at the beginning of the fucking year, you're telling me if we didn't have a vet corner in there, to where Tony Brown and Darrell Baker Jr. were not giving starting snaps, we likely win the division. And people can say that they made the decision to go young at the beginning. That's the dumbest fucking excuse, because as soon as Rodgers got suspended, you have to change the game plan. It was fine to go young before that, but after that, you have to fucking adjust. And Ballard just, Ray, you can fucking downvote. You're fucking dumb. But I love you, buddy, but you're just dumb. So, it's just, I mean, Ballard's full of shit. To sit in here and hear that, oh, he has a vision now in year 8, that now he has a vision, and now he has like, if only there was a position in the front office that was in charge of getting a quarterback. I don't know, maybe you would call it the general manager or something. I don't know. Maybe if we had that guy, they would have got a quarterback sooner, but they didn't, because he's full of shit. He thought that team was competitive, and like to be on the clock now is just, I mean, it's like so much of our fan base just loves mediocrity, dude. I don't get it. I'm not content with it. I'm like you. I want Super Bowls, but with Ballard, it's never going to happen. I mean, I just don't believe it'll ever happen, because I just don't trust him to ever, even if AR works out, even if he becomes good, I don't trust him to build the rest of the roster. I don't trust him to ever have a good. We're years in. We still don't have a good pass rush. We still lack these premium positions for years. So even if AR becomes good, like, he'd have to carry the team because there's so many holes on this team. So I mean, we have the 26th, 27th ranked defense or whatever, and people are talking about drafting a fucking tight end in the first round. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I can't. It's crazy. This fan base has lost their fucking minds. And so I'm trying to think of what other.
No, I'll just jump in right
Ray
there
said so much.
real quick. The main thing I agree with you from the aftermath of the Ballard presser was people all of a sudden thinking he's going to draft a wide receiver. Like, I don't see that how anything he possibly said and all of what I read in the media scrum that wasn't televised, I have no idea how you're going to pick up that he's just played his cards. That he's definitely drafting a wide receiver.
That he just told it like, he just made it so obvious that he told people. And even if you're going on the like, you're taking these hints as saying like he's going to draft an explosive receiver. Well, I think everyone that's drafting a receiver wants an explosive receiver. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
right.
And it doesn't mean, and even if you do come off that way, sure, that's good. Good job, Ballard. You can watch and see that we need a receiver because Alec Pierce isn't it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be in the first round. I mean, there's so many. I used to think that there was like the 4 big guys, maybe 5. You could add Brian Thomas Jr. into that top 5, and then there was like another tier of like 4 or 5 guys. That second tier is even bigger than I thought it was. And as long as you don't fucking talk about Ricky Pearsall, if I see one more fucking account talking about Ricky Pearsall, because all I ever heard from the AR call was AR was dog shit at Florida because it was all his receivers' fault. But now everyone wants to fucking draft Ricky fucking Pearsall from the fucking Gators, who's fucking trash. I mean, if you pick him before the 4th round, I will hate Ballard. But yeah, it's just, I mean, he's gonna draft a receiver, but I mean, you could get a really quality receiver in the 2nd round this year. Like, I mean, this receiver class, he brought up the Pittman receiver class with, who else was in that? Jamar Chase and all that. Or wait, was it Justin Jefferson? Which year was that?
Yeah, that would have been 9.
It was the one with Jamar Chase and
COVID
Pittman
year,
and Ayuk was in it, and I forget who else. But that class was low. That class, like, obviously the Jamar Chase at the top. I mean, realistically, I think this class is way better than that class. If you believe that Marvin Harrison Jr. is truly generational, this class to me is way deeper and way more talented than that class. Some people still think that class is better. I think this class is going to be much better. So
I'll give you $20 if you can name the first 2020 receiver off the board without looking at it. 5, 4, 3.
Was it
2?
Wait, was
1.
it not Jamar Chase?
Henry Ruggs. Ruggs at 12.
It was
Jerry Jeudy, and then you get into the good ones: CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Ayuk, Higgins, Pitt.
Oh, it
Jr.
wasn't. It was Justin Jefferson, not Jamar Chase.
Chenault,
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just, dude. I don't know. I just can't believe people defend Ballard the way they do, specifically Ray, and some other accounts. That we see. It's just,
I'm to the point.
I'm gonna preach it till the fucking end of time.
Yeah, well, go ahead and hit that request button for a group discussion. I think the macro point in the whole Ballard thing is just I'm also tired of just the pressers. Like, I'll watch them. Like, I'm a crazy fan. If you're on this, you're top 1% of all Colts fans. If you watch the press conference in late February before the combine, before even anything's happened, and you hinge on every word he says, like, I respect you, but also we've done this so many times where you can't really get much out of it. The only times, honestly, I've gotten a lot out of Ballard press conferences are the Steichen hire, the Saturday hire, and then, gosh, that might have been pretty much it. Like, maybe the Reich firing one, but even then, I don't think he got a lot out of it. But it's just, talking in circles. Like, again, fine. Like, but let's not. We don't have to pretend that he's the most honest GM. He's just good at talking to media, and they like what he says, and they can write about certain things he gives them. Like, it doesn't mean he's giving up information. And again, too, like, the belly laughs after stuff just really are starting to really bother me with the hollowness of the of the trophy case. But again, I still have full confidence. Not full confidence. I'm still 70-30 going into this year, and this draft, this free agency. If he goes all in actually this time for sure. Yes, I'm gonna look like an idiot when you're gonna post this clip of me in September, and we still don't have a starting corner over the age of 22. But until then, I genuinely think this is the all-in year, and I think he was agitated enough after the season press conference that that's going to be the case. Again, before we give Undisputed
I just
last
don't
shot,
understand why
hit
people.
that request button. We'll get everybody in. We'll give Undisputed an ad read, and then we'll go to group.
Yeah.
Undisputed last word.
Yeah, we are sponsored by Anita B Beauty.
There you go.
But no, so it's just I just don't understand why people think that like all of a sudden now Ballard is just going to change his ways. Like it's just he's never changed his ways to which I do agree with you. Did say this, and everyone thinks that it's best player available and all this. Ballard does not do that. Like Ballard goes to need, but he just goes about it wrong. Like it's like yeah, we need an edge, but he just decides to try to do it in on day two, and like he just doesn't know how to address these positions, and
Oh,
that's the problem. Like
Hold on, Ray Love. Before
oh
group
no,
discussion,
Ray
we
can
will
jump
get
in.
to an ad read. Anita B Beauty LLC Undisputed said it. He is interested when AR takes us to the Super Bowl and getting the Lombardi Trophy tattooed on him, and we can make it work. Just a half hour northwest of Indianapolis in Lebanon. Anita B Beauty LLC. Find her work on Instagram at Rose Inc. Official, and her permanent makeup. Have a loved one in your life who would like permanent eyeliner or microblading for your eyebrows, or if you need them yourself, go visit Rose Inc. PMU. That's Rose Inc. Official, Rose Inc. PMU on Instagram, and you can find it all by Googling Anita B Beauty LLC. And this kicks off group discussion again, talking about the Ballard presser. Ray Love, good, you chimed in here. Undisputed kind of talked his counterpoints of what he made of the Ballard presser, and I'm kind of more toward Undisputed in terms of it not mattering like at all really. The only thing is the injury update on Smith. I thought what he said about Richardson was kind of interesting, and of course the Pittman Jr. after the media scrum. But go ahead, Ray Love. I saw you wanted to chime in.
okay. Yeah, this is what I don't get about Mr. Thick Booty over there is that he wants Ballard to be right all the time. It doesn't work that way. If you draft the guy and the guy doesn't pan out, what do? You go back to the drawing board and you try to rectify it. Sometimes you
Wait,
just can't
give me an
rectify it.
example of what you mean. Like who? Like what do you what example like you're using? You're saying that, but like what? Give me an
Okay.
example of one
So,
of these.
okay.
Like
The run on Kamoko Ture, Ben Banagoo, that whole run with defensive ends, they didn't pan out. He went and got Quiddy Pay, Dio Adebo, back to back, first and
okay,
second rounds.
so we got a
He's
bunch
trying
of
to
day two
rectify
guys.
that.
So we got a bunch of so we got to just kept thinking we
Day
could just get
two, really? Does it? No, 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 no. You want these all pro guys. You can't get an all pro all the damn time. So you have to try to find these guys. It doesn't matter if it comes in the first round or the second round. And this is my thing with you. It doesn't matter that the numbers say, the pie chart says, the line graph says, if you don't take a rusher on day one, you're just screwed. No, I don't care about that. Get the guy you want and let him develop, and let's see what he turns into.
but
The
but
draft
the
is a
data's on my side
crapshoot.
though.
It's a crapshoot. You don't know.
Okay,
Just
I
because you
will
pick a
say
guy fifth.
I do love Ray Love's bit.
you're just wrong.
No, no, no,
You're
no,
just
no,
wrong.
no. You're
Like
just wrong.
no no. Listen. When it comes to play, there are certain positions like when it comes to like edge that the all the data shows that the it's best to go that the best ones go towards the top half of the first round. The first round, top half of the first round specifically. It's just that's where they go. Like they don't. Max Crosby's are extremely rare, like extremely rare. So it's just, I mean, if you think that you just want to just every year just try to get some day two edge and just hope that they turn out and then they never do, I mean that's, you're just wasting your time. And then the one time he did in the first round, Kwity Paye, he wasn't even a pass rusher; he was a run stopper, and they thought that they could turn him into that because traits or whatever, and that didn't work either. So it's you could sit and say that you just need guys and that I just want all pros all the time. No, I just want him to actually go get a bona fide pass rusher in the first round and go take it seriously for
He
once.
did.
Obviously, I know. If listen, no, he didn't. No, he never
He
had.
went and got Kwity Paye in the first round. He was a first round. Yeah,
Are
Kwity
you
Paye had a first round grade on him.
was Kwity Paye a pass rusher? Was Kwity Paye known as a pass rusher?
Yeah, he was a
He
pass
was a
rusher.
run
He
stopper.
played the end. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but I
Oh
think
my
defensive
god,
ends are pass
he
rushers.
was a run. He was a run
Is he
stopper
a
that
defensive
they
end?
thought they could
Is,
turn
is
into.
he a defensive end?
Dude, you're not
No,
really
no,
gonna
no.
tell me?
Just a question. It's just a
Hey,
question.
wait, hold on.
Is he a
Hey,
defensive
Yannick
end?
Ngakoue, can he
Last
stop the
last
run?
point
He's
Is he a
undisputed.
defensive end. Can he
defensive
stop the run?
end? If he's a defensive end, he's a damn
Dude,
pass rusher.
he is not.
Don't try to break
Ray,
it
you're
down.
just trying to. You're
You know
arguing to
what?
argue. You're
I
arguing
told
to
you
argue.
undisputed.
He's not a pass rusher.
I don't like math. So miss me with the numbers, BS. I don't like math.
I
Miss
could
me
tell
with that.
that. I
Undisputed.
know
Let
All
me
you.
right.
ask Ray Love a question. I want to ask Ray Love a question.
Yeah, go
Since
go ahead, Huyen, and we'll make sure we get CJ Colts
Yeah,
fan in
go.
here after
Ray, can you
Huyen.
hear me?
Oh yeah, I got you loud and clear on the big board.
Ray, I wanted to ask you something. Is in your opinion, does winning a divisional title not important?
No, it's not.
Why you
Winning
say
a
that?
division title is not important to me. Yes, it's nice and fine and dandy, and it's a cool banner and a cool T-shirt and hat that we can get and let be a collectible item for years down the line, and we can pass down to our kids while it gets faded and whatnot, just like the Super Bowl and all the other division titles we won. But I'm looking for success. I don't care if we're the fifth seed for the next 5-6 years. As long as we advance and take steps to getting and hoisting that Lombardi, that's all that matters to me.
But how do
Miss me
you
with the
expect?
division.
How do you expect to catch the big fish if you can't even catch the small ones? Like I'm not AFC South. Maybe in the
The
future it could
small
be
ones,
big.
we've been whooping ass since 2019. Don't give me that. We're
Ray,
2-1
Ray,
against the Chiefs.
Ray. When was the
Miss
last
me
time we
with
won a
that.
division title? When was the last time we won a division title?
Hey, look, I look at it like this. Division titles are nice. They're nice. Don't get me wrong. But I look for success. Win a division
Isn't
title, and we
isn't
whoop
that
that
part
ass down
of
in
it though?
Houston.
But
So
isn't that
division
part of
titles
success
don't
though?
mean nothing.
But isn't that a stepping stone that you need to do
Division.
though? You have to
Yeah.
first get your division under control, then you can go out and start winning these playoff games, and then you can think about the Lombardi. It's very rare that you see a team not win their division for X amount of years and catch themselves in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, good points all around there. We'll break it up to get to a different topic, but yeah, I think my take. Yeah, Quiddy. I think he had like 5.5, 6 sacks coming out of his senior year. So yeah, again, there's the developmental side where there is a proneness of Ballard to look at the athletic score and take the guy who might have done really average in terms of stats in college, but maybe he showed more on tape. So yes, I think going into this draft, going into this offseason, I am more of changing that philosophy and getting football players who have played well on film, can produce, as well as be athletic. Like you always want the most athletic guy, but in terms of drive to play and finish through a play, finish through the echo of the whistle type guys who love the game and are passionate in every play. I want to make sure that they're there, especially on third down. So Quiddy, yeah, who knows too if his 5th-year option gets picked up going forward. But let's make sure we get to CJ Colts fan, and then I see your hand, Augustine. CJ Colts fan hopped back in here. Always appreciate him hopping on. Go check him out at the Horseshoe Mob Podcast on Tuesdays. What's up, man?
Hey, yeah, it's funny that everybody's bringing up the edge rusher debate because it's literally been going on. I think now that Ballard, for all intents and purposes, has said that they're going to be bringing Michael Pittman Jr. back in some way, shape, or another. I think now it's just like you just got to focus on the defense. To me personally, I'm definitely not against getting a bona fide pass rusher, but I think if anything, it's just more so to just go ahead and make sure that you just create competition. I the issue that I've had with this team is that you have guys who are in positions who can play, but then after that, the so-called depth generally is a big drop off. Like I don't think Quiddy has necessarily been challenged, so he could be a little bit more complacent in what he does. I mean, I think he ended up with 6 sacks this year. With when Samson Abukum opposite him had what about like 9.5. And I don't think that Quiddy is a bad player, but I definitely think that for him to be a first rounder, he's definitely not lived up to that hype. So I mean, he's gonna get somebody else. I wouldn't be. I'd be okay with those top three guys, either Verse, Latu, or even Turner possibly. And then, like I said, it's just like if Quiddy, if Quiddy can't beat out the guys coming in, then I mean I think we know exactly what needs to happen as far as he goes. But I I don't know. I at this point it's just like we need competition because I just feel like Ballard has done this thing where he's just continuously brought in guys where it's just like, oh yeah, they're gonna come in and we feel like he's earned the job. And I don't know how many times we've heard that we feel like he's earned the job when we had I can't even remember his name, thank God, but that terrible left tackle we had the year before this past year,
Matt
who
Pryor.
he said Matt Pryor, yes, that
How dare
absolute
you?
dumpster
How
fire.
dare you forget? Don't
Yeah, no,
memory hole that. Embrace the
I
pain.
spent the last year trying to forget. I'm glad that I finally forgot his name, but and when he wheeled out that he's earned the spot. And we saw him all year just not earn anything except for penalties and, basically tokens from the guys who were just getting past him on every single down that he played. So I. It needs to be competition out there. I think Quiddy needs to be pushed. If he's going to reach his maximum potential this year, then fine. If he's not, then I mean, we drafted his replacement, and I'm okay with that. But we also got to get past I and I don't want to criticize Ballard too much, but like I said, it's just like athleticism. RAS score is cool. RAS score is fine, but just get somebody who's just an absolute dog. I don't care if he doesn't like their attitude that much or if they didn't reach Eagle Scout by the time they turned 18. Like we just need dogs, and I think we saw that year with Steichen. So I
Well,
I need Ballard to.
technically, you can't be Eagle Scout after turning 18. I got mine when I was 16, so would I be eligible to be? No, just kidding.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry that you were an overachiever, Cole.
Hey,
My
hey,
apologies.
Bobby Okereke, Austin Collie. No, but yeah, I like the sentiment, and yeah, I'm completely with you. Like it was awesome for years to see. Oh, we got this athletic guy. We got this athletic guy. Look at his score. Look at those plays he did. The handful of plays where he looked spectacular because of his freak athleticism. Awesome. Ballard got a pass to do that, and that was his philosophy after hitting on guys like Big Q and Shaq. After that draft class, he could do no wrong for a few years because he had back end linebackers, all these guys with the team, the luck era, and then
Yeah.
what do you have? You have to rebuild. You have to go after the quarterback. So hopefully this is a more I'm not gonna say lax, but maybe more of a it's not as intensive of a draft for him, but it's still a very important draft because again, it could be his last. Like he has to win the division this year. If he doesn't win the division this year and we don't make the playoffs and Anthony Richardson's healthy, then God, it's going to be hard to keep him.
Yeah.
But I think it does start with what you're saying. Like Big Q was a no doubt about it pick. Shaq was a gamer. Like yeah, we all want athletic freaks, but we also want those athletic freaks to be able to play as hard as they possibly can and love the game of football every down. And I'm not saying, guys who had the highest raw athletic score don't try as hard as other guys on the roster. I don't mean it that way at all, but I
Hmm.
mean in terms of motor, Like, look at what the Lions have done. How shocking was it? They took Gibbs. They took that safety,
Brian
and they got
Branch.
Laporta. Yeah. And all those guys have shown up in their first year. Like, that's not going to happen often. I get it. But the Lions were ridiculed after the draft for reaching on guys, and they all want to play football the way the Lions want them to play football. Like, that's what I think gets missed in this raw athletic score. Like, everybody's going to have a high score in the NFL. Yeah, you'd maybe want your corners to be more rangy. Maybe you want quickness in the cones with the wide receivers. But, God, let's get guys who want to actually play football and not test well. And yes, I know Anthony Richardson's numbers. He's the caveat. He wants to
Yeah.
play football. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I agree with what you're saying, all except for this isn't as intensive of a draft for Ballard, because I think this probably right now is probably one of the best drafts that he's probably ever had under his tenure in terms of the prospects and what's coming out and the ability to get guys that can come in and just make immediate strides. And now, because of the fact that you have Anthony Richardson, who is essentially going to be the guy moving forward, now you know for a fact that you can't afford to just relax and say, go ahead and do this draft and be like, oh yeah, we really like who we have, and then we'll see, and this, that, and the other. It's just like, no, like he's in this position where he can absolutely have this be a home run draft, and he comes out of this potentially to win the division. And the thing is, the division, because of the fact that we've went into games before, like even like I'm gonna say the last year, the year that Luck, the last year we had Luck, we didn't win. Oh, hello.
Hey, yeah, we lost you for a minute. We got you up
Yeah,
until
cut out.
Luck. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Luck basically was in, like, he was the guy, and we beat the Texans in the wild card, and they won division. We eventually lost to the Chiefs. So the thing is, it's just like, yes, like, you definitely want to make sure that you're in there. I think the thing that would be most indicative is that if the division is really competitive, let's just say we don't end up winning the division, but we end up going, let's just say 11-6, and we end up getting a playoff bid. I don't think that that's something that is going to be a bad thing. I think you absolutely want to win the division, but the thing is, it's just like, if we don't win division and we end up going further than division winner, then what does that say about the actual team itself? And for me, like I said, Ballard has a lot more that he needs to do with this draft than anything else. Like, this offseason will determine a lot, because he can't take the same steps that he took in previous off seasons and then just kind of lax his way through in certain places. He literally has to make sure that he goes and he solidifies those certain spots, solidify the D line, either sign a veteran, or just like draft whoever you need to for the secondary, but most importantly, probably sign a veteran, and then just continue to possibly, I mean, maybe even go after something like a right guard, maybe. But I think this is a very important offseason, probably like the one of the most important offseason. But he's also falling into a draft that's a very, very good draft in terms of skill players and players that can solidify spots that we know need to be solidified right now.
Yeah, great take, CJ. We'll open it up here. I see the hands. Then get to some new callers as well. Yeah, I think the only thing that I might have I slightly disagree with about the draft, not free agency, not the off season as a whole. Yes, it's one of his most important off seasons. I just think so much is contingent on Anthony Richardson. Not only health rehabilitation, but is he the guy that we've seen, in glimpses? Can that be sustained? And if so, Ballard for a long time. If not, Ballard very short leash. So yes, he can do a lot of things to help himself in the draft, in free agency. But again, at the end of the day, it's making sure the Steichen Richardson combo is here to play. But I definitely hear what you're saying, and still root for the importance of the quality of the draft for sure. Let's get to some hands. I saw Augustine been waiting for a while, and I see you new callers new to this episode, Joke, and then Josh, maybe new caller altogether. But let's get to the hands first, and then get to the new callers. Augustine first, and then we'll go around.
Yeah, cool. I just wanted to go back a little to the topic about Quiddy Pay. I think that people might not understand us is that this pick by Ballard wasn't about getting a already polished pass rusher. Because as far as we know, even the numbers in when he was at Michigan says that he wasn't employed as a full-time pass rusher, and he was also playing in on the inside of the left tackle shoulder, sorry, of the tackle shoulder, very often during the his Michigan tenure. So I think he was drafted more about the potential that he had as being developed as a pass rusher. But this is a problem. You need to surround if you're gonna develop him, you have to surround him with proven pass rushers in order to develop. And I remember at that, if I'm not mistaken, at that time that they picked Quiddy Pay, they let the Nico Autry go. Could you imagine like how much Quiddy Pay could have learned about the Nico Autry being there in the team? And we know what happened after the Nico Autry left. Like for I think the next those 2 years, 2021 and 2022, the Nico Autry was wrecking in every Colts game against the Colts. He was like wrecking us. So at the end, 4 years after of picking Quiddy Pay, I haven't seen that development as a like a pure pass rusher to be able to see like, hey, we have our guy. And I think what the Colts need right now, it's like that guy that is like a proven talent in the pass rushing department. Yeah, it will be a rookie. It will need time to acclimate to the NFL speed. But at the same time, yeah, you need to see guys that already are being employed fully as pass rusher, going directly to attack the quarterback. As of right now, the pass rusher department doesn't need another project that goes on trades. And also something interesting about the last year's rookie class, we got a lot of guys with a high RAS score. However, I don't know how many picks we had, like 12, if I don't remember, 13. And
A lot. Yeah.
yeah, how many they ended injured? Like a
Yeah.
lot too. So it's not only about having high RAS scores. It's also about getting lucky with no with the injuries, and it's also they have to check or recheck the way they're evaluating, because like we need these guys with high upside in the physical traits to be able to translate that into instant impact, because if they don't pan out, then the team will be delayed for another year waiting to get another prospect.
Yeah, good points, Augustine. Yeah, some to be excited about for sure with the draft class. Coming back last year's draft class from the injury. That's a great point. Obviously Brent's injured, finished strong. Hopefully he can improve. Downs very solid. Freeland very solid. A double IR. Adablador.
Wait, hold on. I can't wait.
Just call
Did you
him
just say?
Ade
Did
Ade.
you say Blake
Ade
Freeland
Ade.
was very solid?
Just
Ade
call
Ade.
him Ade Ade.
Ade Ade. Uh,
You didn't just say Blake Freeland was very solid, did you?
did I say very solid? Solid spot backup.
No, he was dog shit.
Solid back. He had
Blake
one. He
Freeland
had the
sucks.
one game
But
where he was rated in the top like 5 run blocking tackles that week. So
what do you
very
expect
solid.
from a 7 rounder? What do you expect from a 7 rounder?
Fourth, yeah, Fourth rounder Freeland.
I mean, at least Ryman, you've seen progress towards the end of the year. You really seen that second half of the season. You started to see some real progress. Blake Freeland was just pretty much dog shit all year long. Like he was not good.
Hey, the one. What did
You
you
will.
not hear?
He
The
will not
top
get another
five,
contract from the Colts.
a top
I'll
5
guarantee that.
PFF run block rating in like week 7 or 8 or something. Anyway, back to my point before I was
Against
rudely
who? I'd be
interrupted.
curious,
Rudely
but,
interrupted.
I'm sorry, I couldn't let
Daniel,
that slide. I haven't been interrupting anyone. I couldn't let that slide.
Fair enough. Obviously, Darius Rush, not on the Colts. The one I was getting to read this list, Daniel Scott might be interesting. So they were really high on him as a safety. Unfortunately, immediately had a knee. But they were really high on him going into. So maybe not, obviously we need a starter at safety, but something to think about too if, Julian Blackmon might not be retained. So they were really high on him. Mallory, Hall, Titus Leo, Jalen Jones played a lot, and then Jake Witt, the 7th rounder as well. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on who can come back. So good points there, Augustine. Really appreciate it. Let's get to Huyen next, and I see you Blue Nation hand up, and then we'll get to Joshua after Blue Nation. Huyen, go ahead.
Hey guys, can you hear me? I got
Yeah, man.
just two things. One, undisputed. Don't worry, this is Ballard's last season if things don't go right. I believe that. I think even Cole, the most optimist fan, knows that this is the process. This is the year we need to get the fruit of our labor. Ain't no more of this. We're gonna sit down here. I love you, Ray Love, but I don't like the fact that you're okay with mediocrity. I need to see something. And I agree with the person who talked about making it to the playoff. I think that should be our first number one priority. Winning division would be amazing, but at least getting to the dance, that would be a big step up from the previous. So I definitely agree with that. The second thing I wanted to ask everybody was, we talk about a lot of pickups and add-on. Do you see anybody in this roster right now that you would be willing to trade to pick up some draft picks? Do you guys have any something like that? I wanted to ask anybody. Any of that?
I would trade Quiddy Pay away.
Yeah, the 5th-year option is tough. I just don't know if anybody. It's similar.
Don't know if anybody will take them.
Right. It's similar to me to the now I'm drawing a blank. There was a player. Gosh, there was a lot of smoke around a guy who we could maybe get something out of, but it didn't seem like a lot. Names drawing a blank, but there have been a few players that have popped up where it's like, oh, we should trade him at the deadline or try and get rid of him, and it's like they never really get enough picks for what it's worth. Like I would much rather have most of our guys than like a 5th rounder, a conditional 6th, 5th rounder, something like that. So I don't really see anybody on the roster right now to trade away. Like, obviously, I don't want to trade away Q. I don't want to trade away, Braden Smith, but those are really the only contracts that are top of mind that are like, you can get enough off the books. Again, very clear, do not want to trade either, but aside from those guys, Buckner, like the big contract late in their years guys, I don't really see it.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I didn't want them to get rid of Yannick Ngakwe last year, but they ended up losing him, and he played well for the Bears this year. So I don't know how you feel about giving up Quiddy Pay, though, too, because that could end up backfiring a little bit.
Am I the only one who used to like Rocket Scene? I feel like I know he did a lot of holding, but I think towards the end of his Colts career, he was actually kind of being decent. I don't think he should have traded him out completely, in my opinion.
Yeah, yes, Yassine was definitely a solid spot starter, but yeah, I don't know in terms of acquire. It was kind of a wash in terms of acquiring Ngakwe for Yassine, in my opinion. Like a starter, I'd rather have the corner.
We gave off a player for literally a 1-year rental. That's what was it?
Yeah, but Yassine's contract was up too, right? Or no, did Yassine play for the Raiders?
Ballard,
No, he still had
Ballard
2 more years.
Masterclass.
He still had
He had
two
two
more
more.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he ended up playing with, who do we trade to? Raiders, and they had him.
Yeah.
I think he just now left them last season, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
because he was with the Ravens, right?
Yeah.
Yassine? Yeah.
Yeah.
He finished with the Ravens, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's definitely better than the two guys that we had this year, Baker and Jones. 110%. I'll take Gronk any day.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. Uh, yeah, I just don't. To go back to Huygens' original question, if anybody can chime in, but I don't see any real trade candidates at all. Obviously, Mo Alley likely to get cut. I think his opportunity to be traded was last year, and nobody kicked the tires on him. Unless we draft like a Bowers and then trade like one of the tight ends, I don't really see a preseason trade happening, sending outward players. Okay, Joshua, thanks for joining. I think it's your first time on the show, correct?
It is my first time.
Welcome. Any
Thank you.
other
Thank you.
topic? You chimed in there. Appreciate your comments.
Yeah.
Anything else? You know, obviously we had the Ballard press conference today, the combine coming up, free agency looming. What's on your mind for all things Colts?
I mean, obviously, I'm not really great in discussion and stuff like that, but chiming in about the cornerback situation. I mean, obviously, you saw what I posted. Xavier Howard is available.
Let's see, Joshua, did we lose you?
Hello, am I back? Hello,
Yep,
hello.
yep. We heard
Sorry,
Xavier Howard.
Yeah, Xavier Howard. I mean, obviously, he's older. He's not very, he's a little brittle, stuff like that. But I feel like he's a good veteran presence, and feel like he'd be a good, good opportunity, a good guy to, lead the secondary since they're so young and stuff like that. What else? What else was I gonna say? Oh, what else I was gonna ask? I know it's early, early in the off.
Let's see. I think we're losing you a little more, Josh.
Sorry, my phone keeps cutting in and out.
All good. Yeah, the spaces can be tricky with like Wi-Fi and 5G and
Yeah.
moving on and off. But go ahead.
So as obviously I said the Xavier Howard thing, but then another thing is the other question I had is obviously it's early in the off season, free agency hasn't even started yet, draft and all that stuff, but the opponents next year looks pretty tough. What do you think our floor and ceiling is?
Oh gosh, ceiling is like 12, 13 wins. I mean, it's all about Richardson. It's all about his health. It's all about what offense is around him. You know, Alec Pierce. I know he's been getting written off, but in terms of being able to win the division, which it is winnable. Like, the Texans did it with a rookie. Obviously, Stroud looks for real. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence maybe not be who everyone thought he was, although still worrisome. Doug Peterson has a Super Bowl, their head coach, and then the Titans are always frisky, especially with a young offensive mind. But looking to the home games.
Nobody's scared of Mayo, boy. Nobody's scared of Mayo,
Hey,
boy.
hey, Cole, you're being a little too modest. Way too modest. It's going to be belt to ass year next year.
Yeah,
belt to ass.
I feel
16-0 is the ceiling.
Belt to ass.
I feel like the real competitors. I mean, obviously we haven't had good history in Jacksonville, but I feel like the real competitors are going to be Houston. Like that's going to be the number one, and then obviously Tennessee's tough, and then Jacksonville we usually split, but you never know, obviously. And then we play the AFC East this year. I'm thinking maybe 2 or 3 wins out of there.
Yeah, luckily.
And then NFC North, same thing.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but real quick. Obviously, our division opponents: Bills at home, Dolphins at home, Steelers at home, Bears at home, Lions. Obviously, the toughest one, even at home. Bills, Dolphins.
Tough
that's tough. That's a real tough home draw. Away though, Jets, Patriots, Broncos, Giants, Packers, Vikings. So we'll definitely need to win more on the road to get it done. But floor, I mean, 8, 9 wins, probably same as this year. Like, I just don't see with a healthy Anthony Richardson, hopefully, dropping.
And yeah, that's obviously with everybody healthy too, and what we pick up. But yeah, I mean, that's really all the questions I had. Obviously, my first time in, so I haven't heard much, but just a couple questions I'd throw. I don't know how you feel about that Xavier Howard pick thing that I said about.
Yeah, I'm in for a vet corner. I think I'd prefer hitting a little bit above that price point and talent wise. Somebody maybe a little younger too. You mentioned age, but he's a good plan B, C for a veteran corner. Like if we can start him for a few weeks and develop another corner behind him. A lot's riding on Juju Brents though to be the guy, corner 1-2 long term. And if that gets done, then it's a plug and play vet, and I'm down for a year or two of him going forward. But I don't think he should be our plan A, but I'm fine with him being plan B or C.
Yep. Same. I feel the same thing. Is Rodney Thomas still on the roster?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
We'll have him going into next year.
Okay. Got it. Well, that's all I need because then the safeties would be him and Blackman, right?
Blackman is free agent.
Oh, well then hopefully we can bring him back.
Yeah, just got engaged too, so hopefully bring him back. But yeah, I mentioned Daniel Scott too. They were high on him, the draft pick from last year out of Cal, 5th rounder. And who knows action wise in free agency, looking to upgrade Gus's system. New D line coach too is a lot more eccentric with blitzes. So if that trickles over into other free agency, but appreciate it, Josh. Feel free to chime back in. Let's go to.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I think we had a few people hop in here. Matt or Joke. Matt, go ahead. What's up, man?
Yes, sir. A couple things. Real quick. We need to re-sign Julian Blackman. That's 100%. And then 2, AFC South is going to be really tough next year, and then for the years coming. So our schedule is going to be brutal next year. So we really, really got to get that defense shored up. And then last, how excited are you for the NCAA football game coming up?
Oh my God, dude, it's going to be amazing. I bet too. You being you, obviously I'm an Indiana Hoosier fan, so the pageantry of the game isn't going to be as fun besides them touching the rock. But you as a USC fan, man, the sword in the ground, like, oh man, the stadium, oh, and I see you go all the time.
And we're in the Big Ten now too, Cole.
Yeah. Hey, you guys aren't ready for a 20-degree Bloomington day in November. We're gonna.
Hey, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for those road games. Yeah. I cannot wait for those road games.
Yeah. You need to make a trip for a Colts Hoosiers game. Go down to Bloomington, and then if the Trojans play.
So we're actually in Indiana in 2025, and I think we're in Purdue in 2024. So I'm going to both those games.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. I'll definitely be at the Bloomington one if you're there.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You know me, I travel. I went to Indy 3 times this year, so I travel.
I saw that. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I cannot wait for it. Like it's unbelievable. It's been 10 years. So glad all the kids are getting paid, rightfully so. Like if you opt out, what are you doing? But I don't think anybody's gonna opt out. But it's gotta be Caleb Williams on the cover, right? Like that's the only
100%, and then we'll have we'll send a special one to Adam over there too.
Hey, when you come back to Notre Dame,
Marvin Harrison. It should be Marvin Harrison.
Yeah. No, Ian Book.
Hey, don't be
Ian Book is wild.
Ian Book, baby. Matt
in a Saints jersey.
Yeah, Matt. Anything Colts related before we go over to Joke?
Yeah, like I said, we got to re-sign Julian Blackman, and then, like I said, our schedule next year is not going to be easy. I think AFC South is going to be really good next year. People understand, like, Trevor Lawrence, but also, like, the Titans, man. I know you guys aren't huge on Will Levis. I know Nick's a big Will Levis fan, but Will Levis is going to be decent, dude. He's going to be decent. He's going to be good.
We putting belt to ass
I'm just excited for the season.
Nobody's scared of Mayo, boy. Stop hyping him up.
Belt to ass all year. Belt to ass. Get familiar with the phrase.
He's decent, Ray. Chill. Ray, you know what, Ray? I'm so mad at you about the brisket nachos, bro. We're not doing that right now.
Hey. Once we whip that Levis ass, I'll get you one.
Oh, I agree with you. Well, I want to fuck them up, but I'm just saying they're not going to be a bad team. You know,
yeah, I mean, they may as long as Anthony Richardson's on the field,
I retract that statement. They're going to be a bad team.
Belt to
They're going
ass.
to be a
As long
bad
as
team.
Anthony,
They're gonna be
hey,
a coaching
hey,
staff, but they're not.
if
They're not going to
for
be
that one whole game
a
we get Anthony
walkover.
Richardson.
Yeah. I hope the first game's Tennessee, so Anthony can put belt to ass on Levis on the damn day. I'm ready.
I think Tennessee. I
Let's
think
hope he
Tennessee is really
finishes
underrating
more
losing
than one
Henry
game
though.
this year.
Henry's going to be a big one.
But Cole, I'm saying is we're going to have a tough
Hope
schedule next
Levis's
year.
girl doesn't leave him again.
Hey,
Yeah,
Levis's
sorry,
ex-girlfriend
go.
is fucking hot as shit.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
said
why she
we're gonna have
left
a really
him.
tough schedule next year. Really tough schedule.
Yeah.
Hope to see you in Green Bay, Cole.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. It's just I think May like 11th that weekish it comes out, and then I'm definitely going to Houston. Barring some crazy timing where they decide to put that game.
I will.
Want to go to Denver as well, and then the third one is kind of up for whatever happens.
I will be going to Green
Well,
Bay.
I know. Me and you were in Dallas in December, a year ago.
Yeah.
At the same time, we never got a chance to meet up, but we're both
Damn.
alive at the same time.
Oh, damn, yeah. That was insane. I've never.
But hey, LA Live
been to
Texas Live was beautiful, wasn't that?
Oh yeah. I was like in the Vanderjack jersey too, so Cowboys fans were really nice to me. They were not nice to me at the game until the third quarter, and then we started getting our ass kicked, and then they were like cool with me. I was like, oh well,
yeah,
thanks guys.
Say something about
but that stadium and that atmosphere was actually a really good time.
Oh yeah, Huyen, go ahead.
Now, real quickly about the schedule, I actually like the fact that we're playing, tough opponents because I feel like our brain farts in the seasons comes against teams that we definitely know we should be beating, but for some reason we can't. But we show up to the big games, so I'm glad that we're actually playing tough teams. I think they'll keep everybody focused, and you don't really need to motivate players when you got tough teams coming to the Lucas Oil Stadium.
Right, I'm much happier that the tough teams are coming home than away, obviously. So yeah, I mean, to recap, Steelers obviously, who knows their quarterback situation, but they're always tough. Although we did beat belt to ass this year, belt to ass. Dolphins, oh geez, could be a track meet, but who knows? Their court, like, yeah, never root for injuries, but like 2-2, like who knows? His health, and Tyreek's a year older. Like they have some pieces that may not necessarily be there, or you can count on if it's later in the season. Bills, holy crap, hold on to your pants. Josh Allen. Lions, like maybe they're a flash in the pan, but also they could be legit. And then the Bears. So away games definitely way more winnable. New York would be cool too to go to. I'm thinking about that. Have a buddy in New York. Depends again, time of year. Same with Green Bay. Like I don't want to go anywhere cold, man.
Oh hell no! I'm going in the cold regardless. Like I gotta go to Green Bay.
Oh hell yeah! No respect. I'll get someday, but the older I get, I'm like I just don't want to go cold.
That Cincinnati game was pretty cold, but I mean it ain't gonna be Green Bay cold.
Right. Yeah, really rooting for like a September Green Bay. That'd be sick. Yeah, Houston, like the first week in December is just, yes, that is exactly what I want to do. So, but anyway, let's get to
Cole. Have you ever been to Houston?
Yeah, I've been to Houston Stadium. Wentz beat him 23-0 when I was there.
I was at that game where Brock Osweiler came back from like in the fourth quarter. I think we were up at like 14 or 10. He came back and beat us. I was at that game, Sunday Night Football.
Jeez.
Yeah, man, those Houston fans are relentless, bro. They're brutal.
Yeah, they were nice to me. It could be that was a real shit season for them, and they were like really nice to me. Like it was kind of weird. Houston's definitely the nicest fan base that I've come across.
Nah, see, for me, I think the nicest fan base I've been around, and you guys are gonna laugh at this, is honestly the Raiders fan base. They've always been great to me. I've been to Oakland. I've been to Vegas. They've been great.
I could see it in Vegas. Oakland's hard.
No, Oakland was great. I've been to Oakland. I went to Oakland like 3 times. I even brought my daughter with me, and they were so nice. Dude. They were so cool. Best tailgate I've ever been to.
Love that.
But when I was in Houston for that Sunday night game, I actually went to the Colts hotel and had drinks with Darius Butler was there when he had his injured hand, and then Dwayne Allen as well.
All right,
super cool.
That's some blast from the past. I've seen a Dwayne Allen jersey out in the wild a few times this year. Have yet to see a Darius Butler jersey. I've never seen one out in the wild.
We'll have to get you one.
Yeah. Oh no, you can't make it though. You gotta scour the web and have it already printed. I can't.
I'll find you one,
To
Colt.
get yeah. I just you guys see my tweet. My brother got me a
Wait.
Matt
Oh,
Overton one from
Yeah,
Plato's
that's a nice
Closet
one.
today.
let me address something really quickly here.
Oh boy.
Matt, where's my hat at?
Hey, it's on the way
that
tomorrow.
3
I'm
or
sending
4
Cole a
weeks
shirt. I'm
ago.
sending your hat tomorrow, bro. I'm sending it tomorrow.
You
My bad.
told
I've
me
been on
that 3
vacation
or
for the
4
last 2
weeks
weeks.
ago.
I'm on vacation the last 2 weeks, bro. I go back to work. Hey, I get free overnight UPS. You'll get it by at least Friday.
All righty. I want to wear that with my Daryl Baker Jr. jersey.
Yeah, I'm
going to
sending
get
it to you. And I'm gonna send
customized.
Cole his Born and Raised shirt tomorrow.
There you go.
I'm gonna be on the lookout for it, man.
All right, bet. And you know what, bro? I'm gonna get that for you this season when I come. You gotta show me those brisket nachos where they're at, bro.
I'm telling you, just meet with me. I'll show
No,
you.
I met with you last game. You fucking gave me the wrong direction.
No, you
I knew he didn't know nothing.
you ran off trying to meet Aaliyah Boston. That's what it
Nah,
was.
I tried to get my fucking seats before the game started because that Anvil was not it, bro. Like, we were all the way in the back.
That's
Well,
probably because Ray ate all the brisket nachos. Man.
Oh, that's doing it all to
they only
himself.
give
For
out
sure.
one per person. One per person. Stop it,
Yeah, he
Hey
Mr.
Nick,
Rumble.
so I'm
he
gonna
ate the
send.
equipment
I'm sending
manager
Cole a
and
Born and
all the
Raised shirt,
brisket.
Nick.
Huh?
Nick, I'm sending Cole a Born
What?
and Raised shirt that I got a couple shirts in.
And I don't want to hear about no brisket nachos from some guy who eats Cracker Barrel.
Hey, Cracker Barrel's
Listen,
nice.
Well, what's wrong with
What the
Cracker Barrel?
preface
Like,
is,
damn, bro.
if you go outside of breakfast time, it's a wrap.
no, Ray is trying to put me on
No.
blast because that was a joke I made to Jen when me and her started talking. She fucking blasted me for it.
Hey, you
So
cannot
Ray's
Hey,
just
Ray
starting to
also
serve
get
said he
things
would
of
stuff.
appreciate good
alcohol
call.
now. They have $7 chicken and noodles. Like, let's
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
in
Hey,
this
Sid, stop
economy.
hitting on Cracker
hey,
Barrel. Yeah.
let me give you some game, Undisputed. The first date, you don't go to Cracker Barrel. That's second date
We
activity.
didn't. That's
First
not what
date, you go to Ruth Chris, or you go to Ruth Chris
That's
or
not
St.
what
Elmo's
happened.
and
We
Hey,
get
never
don't
even
and get
been.
the
We
hey,
never
don't
sleeve.
even
worry
went.
about his relationship shit.
Long John's the first rule.
All right, let's
Anyway,
go to Joke. Been waiting for a while. Appreciate it, Joke. What do you make of Combine Week, Ballard's press conference? Anything top of mind? Saw you chimed in. You're still Team Bowers.
I mean, you know I am. Where am I going? You want to win, don't you? We're gonna need to score points to win. But I'm gonna revert back to what y'all saying. I'm gonna be at the home opener game. I'll be at the VIP tailgate. I go to that every year. Every time I go there,
Hey, Cole,
and
you're gonna be at the
I'll be at
combine
Houston,
Saturday?
and I'll be at Houston. So those are two games I'm going to. At Houston, I'll be at the home opener for Anthony Richardson because I don't know if he's gonna get hurt again. So I'm not taking no chance. I'll be at the first game he can play. I'll be there.
Love that.
As far as Ballard, it lets me know that he likes continuity with his defense. I think he's going to sign free agents on the defensive line. I mean, on the defensive end side. So far, I think we're going to probably get a pass rusher for the defensive end through free agency. I think we're going to re-sign Blackman, Kenny Mo, Grove. I think they all coming back. I think he likes the continuity. If
Gardner.
he's not tripping. No Gardner. I don't know. It
Oh,
depends what's the price for Gardner. I don't know. But as
cheap
far as
enough.
the draft, I know he wants explosion. I think he wants to spend the first 3 or 4 picks on offense and just wipe that out and give Anthony Richardson all the tools he needs. I think he's gonna get a right guard. He's gonna try to get a tight end, maybe Jatavion Sanders if he can't get Bowers, or he's gonna try to get Xavier Worthy. And I think he's gonna get a running back. So Audric Esteem is my guy.
wait.
That's my
Could I
guy.
ask a quick question? Did you say first 3 or 4 picks on offense? I'm
I
not
think
trying to interrupt you.
he's
Did you
going
say first
offense.
3 or 4 picks on
Yes, I
offense?
think he's going offense. I
Okay,
think
so
he's going
when
offense.
you have the 26th ranked defense, do you think that would be smart to do the first 3 or 4 picks on offense?
I get what you're saying, but the defense didn't cost us that game we lost to Houston. It was a loss of our quarterback, and Gardner Minshew can't throw a simple
But
pass. Let's go there.
but okay, but it did hit him in the hands. But how many games did the defense blow to where if the defense wasn't the 26th ranked defense in the league, it was 26, 27, something like that. Bottom 6 defense in the league. If we weren't in that situation, that Houston game probably would. Now, had we addressed secondary properly and had our defense just been better as a whole, if we could get consistent QB pressure, we wouldn't have had to worry about that Houston game.
But even still,
Like
with the Cincinnati and Atlanta game, we all wet the bed on all three phases of the game. You can't blame the defense. And when we lost Grove for those six or 7 games, that hurt us. It literally did. It's a game-changing thing. So we have to bring him back. If not, we better go get Tavondre Sweat from Texas, something like that. But if we get Grover Stewart back, it calmed the defense down a tremendous amount. But the defense wasn't the reason we didn't make the playoffs. It really wasn't.
I mean, it's just we just consistently go after every year. We keep trying to get another one of these like older.
Oh, I'm not saying get nobody old. I say get somebody premium. Definitely.
Mid-tier defensive end that'll come in and we'll have him for a year and then he'll leave and you know just the secondary is just bad. It's just not good. Like when Daryl Baker, listen, Ray, shut up. Oh wait, is he not even in here? Oh, he fucking ran away. When Daryl Baker Jr. and Tony Brown are getting starting spots,
that was
starting snaps. You know we have a problem. Like,
but Dallas Flowers be back.
I mean,
Dallas Flowers played pretty damn well. He's already dunking a basketball.
Yeah, but I don't understand how we put so much faith on 4, 5, 6, 7 rounders and even undrafted players. Like I'm not ready to put my faith on Jalen Jones, Darrell Baker Jr., even Juju Brent. Juju Brent was like injured for quite some part of the season. We need impact. We need impact players on defense. I understand your point of blaming the QB situation on the last game of the season, but we cannot forget that game started with a total total mistake of the defense. That on the first play of the game, Houston scored. That wasn't.
So was that a personnel problem or was that a scheme problem? Ask yourself that. That's a scheme problem. Just like when Ronnie Thomas took the flat when he should. That's a scheme problem. That's not a talent issue. That Tony Brown shit was a talent issue. He shouldn't have been out there. But these other plays you guys keep talking about are scheme issues. That means maybe it's our coaching. That's Gus Bradley.
Give me an example of a scheme issue.
Scheme issue for us when Ronnie Thomas let the man come right across his face and get a touch. That's a scheme issue. How you're not communicating that this is your guy. That's a scheme issue.
So that's a communication issue, not a scheme issue.
Scheme communication is not a talent issue. When Juju Brents got wiped out by the first play of the game, that wasn't a talent thing. We know that. But there was no communication like you're on your island, you're on your own. Like something's going on there. So miscommunication, misdirection. I don't know.
If you're getting burned, that is talent. And if you're saying miscommunication, that's why we.
But he thought he had help, man. Should you see it? He thought he had help. You got to watch the game. But anywho, like I'm saying, we got to score points to win, and we got to put pressure on opposing defense, as we see. We can have the best defense in the world, just like the Ravens. Patrick Mahomes don't give a fuck about that. Patrick Mahomes don't give a fuck. Listen to what I'm saying. Patrick Mahomes don't give a fuck how great your defense is. You got to match point for point. All right? So y'all can talk that cute defense shit. Our goal is to get to Patrick Mahomes, man.
Hey,
let's stop playing around.
You play Patrick Mahomes in the postseason with the 27th ranked defense, and you're losing by 3 touchdowns.
That's what you.
I promise you that.
Man, you got to fight fire with fire. We're not beating him. We're going to shut down defense. Who beat him? Tom Brady.
Tell me. Hey, joke. Hey, the 4 remaining teams, the last 4 teams in the playoffs. Can you tell me their defensive ranks?
I know the Ravens was up there with top 5 with number 1. I think San Fran had an off year as far as their defense. So, they're like at least top 10. They're probably all like top 10.
Thank you for proving my point.
Well,
I was thinking, but it takes pressure. But they had who was that? The Ravens. Go through the list. You got the Ravens. Who else you got? The Ravens. I don't think the Bills made. I'm not sure who did that. Yeah. The Lions. Yeah.
I'll hop in here though. Like, yes, I mean, of course, mediator taking the middle ground on this, but I get both of your points. I think the defensive needs are higher, but you do need to go shot for shot with a Mahomes in the playoffs. But to me,
Oh,
that's
it's green
why.
again.
To me, that's why you have Richardson. To me, that's why you have
Oh
the
no, I didn't.
dynamic quarterback. You get defense to win regular season games when your offense
Exactly.
might not be there. Shittier
Exactly.
weather, that kind of thing. But then when you get to the playoffs, you have to have the make a play when nothing's their guy, and that's Richardson. So regular season, same as the Chiefs, they had a top defense this year. Mahomes and Kelsey weren't Mahomes and Kelsey of regular seasons past, and guess what? They still won the chip because they have that dynamic playmaking, but their defense was able to carry them more into the playoffs. So for me, again,
Cole.
money wise, defense and free
Defense.
agency, retain your own.
Defense.
Cole.
Offensively, I'd
And the
go
draft.
more through the top
Cole.
end of the draft too.
Exactly.
Unless we don't get a hand in the ground pass rusher, which I think is priority number one, along with corner. But I think you can pay him, especially this year. Go
Man,
ahead,
Chris Ballard.
Augustine. Augustine wants to build off this point, and then we'll get back
Yeah,
to you,
just
Joke. Go
I
ahead,
just wanted
Augustine.
to point out on the championship games. 3 of the 4 teams were inside the top 10 in defense. One was outside of the top 10, which was the Lions. Both the all Ravens, Chiefs, and 49ers were a top 10 in defense.
Thanks, Augustine. Yeah, Joke. Any more points on that? But
Yes, because I just feel like Chris Ballard sees ghosts of Andrew Luck's past. And he's going to do everything in his power to make sure Anthony Richardson has every type of tool he could ever imagine. He know he has to go out with a bang. The shit is going to look real weird and crazy. He's going to go all out on offense in the draft. Free agency, he's going to get proven defensive stalwarts. Just watch it. And don't be surprised.
Wait, who's talking?
If I could add one thing real quick, Cole. Listen, offense, defense. I need to get some dogs in here. I don't care who it is. I just want to make sure the guy who number one pick is on the field and showing us. Because I'm tired of
That's
this
fucking Brock Bowers. He's
time.
generational talent.
No, I listen. Whatever you gotta do, get the guy. And I think the move. I think you asked something about moving up or down, Cole. I really think it depends on who's left. If you say Black Barrel is that guy and and it's up to number 10 or 11, and you have another team ahead, don't take the chance. If that's your guy, give what you gotta give to get there and pick him up. If you have a couple other guys, that's a different story. But I just need someone who's number one pick, a first draft pick, first round pick overall. We need to be able to be a guy we can actually depend on.
You
When
think
Brock
Brock
Bowers
Bowers would be
steps on
better
the
than Dalton
field,
Kincaid?
yes,
I don't know about that.
yes.
I don't know
Go
about
see the
that.
college film. Take college film, and you ask yourself that.
I'm just talking about. I'm just talking in general because Dalton Kincaid's a fucking monster, bro.
But man, did you see? Just go see film for film. Just go see film for film. College
I'm talking
first.
about Dalton Kincaid has done it in the league already, bro. He's a beast.
I mean, he did good this year. I mean, he'll get a shot this year, but Brock Bowers is different. That's a
No,
one man army.
quick question. Do you really see him being available in the top 10 though? If he's that good, he's probably going to go earlier,
Nah,
right?
he's gonna be a
I don't
Charger
think
or a
so.
Titan.
I don't think so. I wish. I'm hopefully wishing, but I doubt it. But if he dropped at 12 or 13, we got to go. 11, 12, or 13, we got to go.
yeah,
Brock
I
Bowers
think
with
it's going to
Anthony
be earlier.
Richardson and JT and Pitt and Downs, you got to be fucking kidding me.
The good thing about all this though is we can do both. Like if free agency is used correctly for
Yeah.
fucking once in Chris Ballard's tenure, if we can hit on either or a corner or an end, then that frees up 15 to go get a dynamic playmaker, whether it be Bowers, Duzier, any receiver.
Exactly.
Marvin Harrison Jr. did
Dunze will be gone like at 7 or
probably,
8 for sure.
but
If we don't
trade
get
up,
Brock
trade up.
or Jared
Cole.
Verse, we got to get Keon Coleman.
I just
my
wanted
opinion.
to make
No. We got Pittman. Keon Coleman is Pittman all over again. No,
Not even
none of that.
close, man. Not even
None of
close.
that.
Bro, you're
He
crazy.
no.
Not
I
even
just
close.
wanted to
He's that
make
type of. He's still that type of style of player. We don't want that. We need a dynamic person like an Xavier Worthy from Texas or Brock Bowers, a one-play fast break guy.
I'd rather
Shit
have
wide
Keon
open.
Coleman than
we just have
Go ahead.
Keon Coleman over
Hey,
who?
we should go get that person
Keon Coleman from Florida State.
from Florida.
Over who? Like who's your options if
Well,
you
I said
taking
if Brock
him?
Bowers or Jared Verse aren't there, we had best playmaker available. You take Keon Coleman.
Nah, man,
My
we could
opinion.
trade back, get Malachi Corley for that. Keon Cole.
Keon
All right.
Coleman's
Let's
a
go to
dog, bro.
Blue.
Anything comes in, he catches everything in the vicinity, and he's a big playmaker too.
Like,
We
look,
got
I
one of
just,
those,
I
man. We
just,
can't have three
I
of
just
Let's
them.
go to
wanna,
Blue Nation.
We don't have one of them. What do you mean?
Go ahead.
So Pittman
Hold
ain't
on, hold
that.
on. Go ahead, Blue. Go ahead, Blue Nation.
So it's like, say if this scheme does not work out for Indianapolis this year, I think Gus Bradley is going to be gone if our defense is ranked badly this season.
Yeah, I mean, probably. Yeah, touch off topic. But yes. I mean, he has to get the tools though. Like Bradley had a solid defense, throughout. I think last year was probably his weakest, only because of Shaq not being Shaq. Um, but he needs a playmaker. He really needs a playmaker on defense. Easier said than done, but if he gets one, somebody who can
We
generate
need a coverage
turnovers.
linebacker too, because I don't trust Zaire Franklin.
Yeah, he's more inside. I trust EJ though playing with him. I like the linebacking core. I think it's low on the overall priority list, but also Ballard's good at finding those end of draft, fifth, sixth, seventh round linebackers. It's a position he's really hit on in the past, so I think he can help there.
He's automatic in that position.
Yeah, for sure.
I think even Undisputed would agree on that part. He's always good at getting
That's
those
the only.
linebacks.
That's the absolute only thing that I have faith in Ballard in, other than being fucking mediocre.
What about Belly laughing at press conferences for no reason?
He's such a fucking loser, dude. I watch him, and it's just like all I want is for him to get fired.
We got to
he's a
re-sign Ronnie Harrison too, man. He's a championship style player. He's
a
He had to
very
change a
versatile.
tire in the south side of Cleveland in 2020 with the.
We need a Howie Roseman in Indianapolis.
One year at a time.
Let's fire Ballard and we just get Ed Dodds, right? He's so great. He can't get his own job. Oh my God, fire Ballard. Ed Dodds can't get his own job yet.
Get someone from out of the building. Hire someone from the Niners. Hire someone from the Ravens. Hire someone from somewhere, not from here. That front office fucking sucks.
Go ahead, Augustine.
look for. I know you were saying, go offense, get weapons for Anthony Richardson, but I just wanted to point out something. I think we have already 59 Super Bowls in history, right? 59, right? So out of those 59, only 6 um, of those Super Bowls were won by the 25th defense in the Giants on 2011, the 23rd best defense for the 2006 Colts, the 20th best defense for the 2009 Saints, the 17th best defense for the 2007 Giants, and the Chiefs on the 2023 for where they were 16. So this is not common of a team, because we're talking less than 10% of all Super Bowls being won by teams where they were bottom of the league on defensive wise. So giving a fact that we can get a bolster our offense all you want, but we cannot have the kind of defense that we have right now. The rankings that we have, I think they were 28 or 24, I think. It's not how you call not gonna be effective on the long term. Like, we have to get balance on bolstering both sides, because this is just the exception of going into win a Super Bowl with a lower ranked defense. That's not the norm. It's the exception.
Exactly that. And Ballard's been so bad at developing pass rush that like it's. I mean, we're years into this and still not being good. So I mean, you just if we don't do that, it don't matter how many weapons you get. We could get Marvin Harrison and Brock Bowers. It ain't gonna matter shit if we're the fucking one of the worst defenses in the league. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I call me an idiot, call me falling for it again. I'm sure I'll look like an idiot, but I really do think it's going to be big corner, big enough edge signing to be able to open up to draft a young stud position player. But I'd still rather draft
Well,
defense. But I think we're signing a corner, maybe even trade, maybe. But gosh, something big has to happen before the draft for us to still be,
Colt,
Let's go
very
get
top.
Ryan
Hey,
Ballard.
we'll find out in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
We'll find out
technically
in two
March
weeks.
Ballard
11th, baby.
technically Ballard has to do the opposite of what he has been doing in the last 7 years. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, again, I think we touched on it a little bit, but I think the difference this year, this is legit his first year since his luck comeback season, where he did spend a little in free agency. That he has his quarterback, he has his coach, he has his direction. The
Whose fault
shell
is
of the
that?
defense is there enough, you know,
But
to
whose fault
be
is
able.
that though?
Well,
Like,
somewhat Ballard, but again, if we have to go through revision, it always comes back to Ballard. The thing is, he's going to be here this year. There's no need to just bitch about everything. Like, we can talk about what he does going into the draft before. Like, we can expand it besides just shitting on the guy. Yes, he's fucked up plenty of times, but look at how unlucky he was after, Luck retired. Brissett. Yes, Wentz was partially his fault, not mainly his fault. Yes, Matt Ryan year completely on him. Rivers mostly on Reich bringing in Rivers, good enough. Rivers retiring, not on Ballard. And here we are headed into the year with Richardson looking good, got hurt, sucks. Minshew, sure, you could credit him more so to Steichen bringing him in, solid. So I don't know. To me, it's hard to grade him as just a failure when there's so many things that didn't go his way that if we dug into every other GM, like, yeah, some might have overcome it, but a lot of it is luck. And I'd rather literally luck and luck for Ballard. And, that's why I'm fine keeping him this long. But boy, we underperformed this year with a healthy Anthony Richardson. Yeah, I'll be right there alongside you.
Can we get Brissett if Minshew want too much money though? I want him
Yeah,
to back
sure,
up.
sure.
I was actually going to ask a
yeah,
question
go
with
ahead.
that. Would you rather keep Minshew or draft a quarterback in the later rounds, maybe 5 or 4 or
It
something
depends
like
how
I'd
much
that?
money he want. He a Pro Bowl quarterback now, quote
yeah,
unquote.
yeah. Those you
The
can't
agent won't
buy
run the
those
number up.
shirts. You can't buy the red shirts that he wore during the Pro Bowl games. You can only buy like a crappier T-shirt version of it. So I'm a little pissed. But anyway, obviously Minshew. I mean, the guy who won. It's the same. I got asked on a podcast a few months ago. Would you rather have Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck to lead you to a game-winning drive or something like that? And I'm like, the guy who did it. What backup quarterback would you rather have than the guy who did it? Like, Minshew did it in this offense. He was with Steichen in Philly. He's buddy with Richardson. It's not going to be weird for him to take a step back and Richardson come back. And again, God forbid Richardson, continues the path of injury, something shitty happens. I want to win games. I don't care about tanking. I don't even consider it. I'm a season ticket holder. I go to 2 away games a year. I go to see my favorite team win. And Garner Minshew gives us the best chance to win in this system if Richardson, God forbid, goes down.
You mean AKA Uncle Rico?
Yeah, of course. Of course. He can throw a ball over the mountains, that's for sure.
Look, my only criticism of that is like, okay, I know Minshew was solid, but it was evident that the the game plan was limited compared to what Steichen created around Anthony Richardson. So I will be more leaning into either a veteran quarterback or a quarterback in the draft that has more of the similar traits than AR. So we can keep still doing some of the stuff that we were able to do while AR was playing.
Yeah, I hear you, but also that's just backup quarterbacks too. Like you're gonna be limited. They're gonna have their pros and cons. Like if they were so good, they'd be starting. Like what? I think the only teams in NFL history who had good enough like quarterbacks on the roster were Montana and Steve Young. Like that might pretty much be it in terms of like your backup quarterback being good enough. I hear what you're saying and I get the
Tom Brady.
archetype, but what and who? Bledsoe, I
Tom Brady
guess.
was the backup. Like,
Well, yeah, but he was significantly better than Bledsoe. It turned like Bledsoe. You're not gonna have two winning quarter. Like even Garoppolo wasn't a winning quarterback. Like I guess he made it
why don't
to
we
the
just
Super Bowl.
listen? Why don't we just spend a pick and draft Jordan Travis so that when
Oh
so that
my
when
God!
so
And
that
on
when
Every
that note,
time.
There he
so
is.
so so that
There
when
he is.
so that when
There he is.
AR almost
Really?
so
I
so
knew he
that
was
when
waiting for
AR
this.
almost finishes his second game and gets hurt again, we just have a better quarterback to put in anyway. So
oh
Hey,
god,
it's gonna be
No,
a
I do
name
agree with
change,
Augustine
Indianapolis
though.
Seminoles.
yeah.
yes,
Bring back
I
Bjorn
do agree
Werner.
with I do agree with Augustine. I would rather draft another quarterback, and I'm not saying high up, and this has nothing really much to do with Richardson, but in that case scenario, who knows? Like how many of these backup quarterbacks came in, and I'm looking at Brock Purdy, like and came out and balled out, and then like and let's say we do have a decent quarterback and he's good, he turns out, and then Richardson ends up becoming that guy, then we could probably trade him or flip him for capital pick like New England did with Richardson, not Richardson, Garoppolo, and also Jacoby. That you'd be able to do that as well. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with drafting a young quarterback, and also making pennies anyways.
One
What's wrong
thing
with
I'm thinking, I think that this NFL owners meeting, they didn't really need to sit down and really think about having a farm system for these developmental quarterbacks through the draft, through undrafted free agency. They need to group them all together, put them in some kind of farmhouse type of system, because there is a lack of talent on the offensive line side and the quarterback side. And if your whole quarterback get hurt, man, you shot this shit, and it shouldn't be that way, man. There
That's
needs to
a
be something done, like some type of developmental league, some type of developmental school after you're done with college, or you play 1 or 2 years. There got to be something done with this. They having a real conversation about that. It fucks with the
yeah.
product.
Uh, that's actually that's actually a great idea. Like especially like
All the
all
money
these
they got,
practice
hell
players
yeah,
that like all these practice players that you have that are not active during game day.
yes.
Wouldn't you want them at least have their own
Or
game
some
that
type of
they
reps,
like
yeah,
yeah, that they're able to at
You mean
least put
something
some
like
type in
baseball,
instead of
like a farming system like
yes,
baseball?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I think well one I would get season tickets to the Indy Horseshoes. But that's what you got to name the team if you get a minor league. But yeah, I think like the XFL and USFL them merging. But you're right. Like it has to be in season because you have to have the call ups like
Exactly,
baseball. Because the
exactly.
spring leagues to get signed, the Canadian League is at a different time to get signed. Like shout out Cole Coleman, Saskatchewan Roughriders. Hope to bring him back. Those leagues are there for the players who don't make the squads. But you're right. In terms of quarterback readiness, they
Yes,
take all the snaps. The only thing is like the system, because you want them familiar with the system, but then you also don't want to show too much on film in the minor leagues. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a watch. Also, you want
I
your
think the way
backup to be a part of your team. So having him on a minor league affiliate and not around the guys, not even throwing to him, I don't know if it would ever that connection would be
no,
made.
I think Cole like it would be like in Europe the way they do for so they have the senior team and then they have what they call Primavera Bay, the youth, and they both travel together. So if a team like I use Roma for instance, like the youth will play a game early in the morning against each other, and then the seniors, of course, will have it. So something for the actor, like let's say if Detroit's coming to town, just like we do joint practices, this will just be their non-active practice players go up against our non-active practice players. That way, you can get some live reps. Because how many times have we have to count on someone off of the practice squad and they barely, have any game time? Man, it's very
Tyler
difficult. But at
Goodson.
least if you have a guy, yeah, if a guy had there you go, like a guy that has 5 games in with at least some type of
Some
active in
live
the other
reps.
other
Yes.
teams. Sign like, and you bring and somebody goes down or whatever, and then he comes in. At least his pace is not as starting from zero. If
Man,
that
it's a
makes sense, and I think
100%
they
makes
has the
sense.
capacity.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's just that's a good point. If you do treat it like the more of the European youth system than a separate league, I think that would be a bit like
Yeah, no,
JV
yeah.
varsity football.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
type of system where you just getting live reps of somehow, man. It's just we got to do
Isn't that
something about this, man.
And then
Everybody's not God gifted, man. They're not.
And then imagine also you could the scouting you could do that where some scouts can go in the morning and then probably there's a player on, let's say for Detroit this instant, you'd be like, yo, that safety's really playing decently, and then you could probably pick him up because most of the time the only time you see these guys playing is if you actually go to their practices, which I don't think other during the season you can't do that. So I think that's another, and then I'm not saying give them the official playbook, but at least live reps is better than them just going home. I don't know what practice players they probably do go home on Sundays because I don't think they travel because they're not active. So I think that's better than nothing in my scenario.
Yeah, good points here. We might close on that cool conversation there. Off-season talk at its finest, but I love it.
wait,
Great.
Drake? I mean, Cole.
Yeah,
How
going around the horn. Go ahead, Undisputed.
how are me and controversial Colt in the same space? We are the same person. Everyone says.
Dude,
This is
you
crazy.
have two phones.
This is
You have two
crazy right
phones.
now. Can we bring
Everybody
him up
has
to
two
speed?
phones.
Hey, it's 2024, Nick. Hey, that's crazy. It happens, dude.
Burners, baby. No, it's all good. Appreciate all listeners, no matter what they've said about me in the past. Everybody's welcome on here to come up and speak at any given
Hey,
time.
we've
So
made it. We
I
made it
have
another
thicker
week. No
skin.
incident.
I have thicker skin than the local media, believe it or not. So you can say whatever the fuck you want to me, and I've only muted 4 accounts ever, and nobody on here has ever been one of them. So feel free to speak your mind and tweet whatever you want at me. But around the horn, Combine Week, real quick. If anybody has any quick players or quips, and we'll get out of here, and then look forward to next week too. Combine recap. But Adam, sorry, I didn't answer you.
Caleb Williams would be the first pick taken for sure.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Adam, I didn't answer you
And he's
earlier.
taking the Bears to the Super Bowl. Hey, you can bookmark that. He's taking the Bears to the Super Bowl within the next 5 years, guarantee it.
That's lofty. That's lofty. Adam, I will not be at the combine. Unfortunately, I had something pop up on Saturday, but all good too. Should be a fun time, but unfortunately can't make it. But yeah, go ahead. Undisputed. Any combine or
Yep.
or
Let's
anything?
just watch out for Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Renardo
God
Green,
damn.
Renardo Green, who locked up Malik Neighbors, put him in a box, and Darian Jones and Jordan Travis. Watch all those guys.
Who was the guy, real quick, Undisputed, at the Senior Bowl, the corner? Was he a Florida State guy? Like, did really well, the DB? Maybe not.
Do you know how you just said that? You said, who was the guy, the corner? Was he a Florida State guy? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Florida State don't have no good DBs.
Yeah, I just want to
Excuse
say.
me?
Nah, they got Jalen Ramsey. You
That's
can't go that
DBU,
far.
my guy.
I'm from the U, but nah,
DBU?
Jalen Ramsey for real though.
I'm just
One of my
That's
favorites.
DBU.
I'm messing with Undisputed.
Renardo Green had freaking Malik Neighbors in hell fucking week 1, dude. In hell.
Undisputed, I was just joking with you. I was just joking. Yeah, save that energy for Ray Love. Just joking.
Hey, Cole, I got 2 guys in the
Go
draft.
ahead, Matt.
If they don't take a receiver early, Taj Washington and Brendan Rice.
Oh, Jerry's
good,
son.
man. Yeah, I want that scat like running back guy who can run the ball, take the jet sweep. Like I envision like a Naheem Hines like times like 5. Like I'm willing to reach for second, third rounder who can just fly and take carries as well
Trey
as catch the
Benson.
ball in the backfield.
He ain't got shit on Audrey Gustine.
Hey, Brock Bowers at 15. If we don't
There we
take Brock
go.
Bowers at 15,
There we go.
No.
Brock at 15.
Defense.
Let's do it.
Defense.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
If the Colts do splash in free agency with a pass rusher, then I will think they will go Bowers on by 15. That's what I think.
All we gotta get is Brian Burns or Grenard. What we got?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
Because since now the with the increase of the salary cap, these prime time pass rushers could be a possibility that they stay where they are. So we'll see.
Yeah, I like Burns and I like Grenard. If we could
Did
snatch him from
anybody
Houston,
did
that'd be
anybody
good.
see the rumors that Reddick is available for trade?
We don't need no older guys. No more older. He's like 32.
I
Hassan
think he's
Reddick?
29. Yeah,
He's
but
29.
Mm-hmm.
He's
but
going
yeah,
he's going to be 30 for this season.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No. Shaq Barrett's the old dog. But if we can get Hassan Reddick, I'd be okay with that.
I mean,
Shaq Barrett is
that's the
old.
same.
Come on,
That's
Burns.
that's us literally doing the same thing we did the
Exactly.
years.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. Just getting these washed up. I mean, guys that are clearly on the decline. And
Bro, that is Brian Burns. What are you talking about?
You mean freaking
Brian
old
Burns?
ass?
What are you talking? Brian Burns is 25.
No, he's
And ready.
He's referring about
Brian
like
Burns is horrible against the run. Horrible.
Yeah, he got some holes. He does have holes. He's not the perfect prospect, but he's official. We want pass rusher.
I mean, listen, I want Jared Verse. So I mean, that's because
he's going to be gone by 15. Bro.
You know who I want? You know who?
He'll be gone by 15.
You know who I want in the second round? Anthony Richardson's partner from Florida.
No, you don't.
Oh my God, no.
No, you don't.
I
do.
Xavier Worthy, round 2.
Absolutely
If he
not.
makes it round 2, I think he's going round 1.
Crazy. No,
I think Pearsall's going to be a sneak.
If you took Ricky Pearsall in the 4th round, that would be too soon.
If you like Pearsall in the 2nd, you might as well get McConkey in the 2nd.
He'll go undrafted. Don't worry.
McConkey's not going in the 2nd, man. McConkey's going to go late first.
He'll go undrafted, and I will end in the Colts.
Pearsall will get drafted.
Taj Washington.
Pearsall will get drafted, but he's about the probably like the 16th or 17th receiver in this class at best.
Pearsall.
And it's just crazy to me that like everyone that loved AR was all like, oh, it was the receiver's fault that's why he was dog shit at fucking Florida. And then now everyone wants to draft the receiver that they blamed AR for being dog shit. Like, it just, I don't know.
Have I missed it, though? I don't see as much of chatter for this guy. Like, I've seen him a few times, but I haven't seen anything.
Oh, no, he's everywhere now.
Dude,
he's not good.
He got this one catch. He got this
mid.
one catch everybody keeps showing as a picture on Twitter.
He's
mid. Is he white? Is he the white kid?
Yes.
Yeah,
no
he's white.
I mean,
hey guys, I know I said it many times, but Taj Washington's going to be a dog. Taj Washington.
If we're gonna make a splash in the 2nd round, and if my guy Xavier Worthy is gone by late 1, we need to get Malachi Corley. He's like a baby Debo Samuel, and he can help our offense in a multitude of ways.
Just give me
that. I like that.
I agree. Cordy's a beast.
I want a guy who can catch out of the backfield, like
that's Corley.
Split out, come back in, take handoffs.
Taj Washington.
No.
There you go, Cole. Washington.
Corley. Corley is that dude, man.
All right, I'll keep an eye out for both. All right, real quick here. There's something we can all agree on. I think J.J. McCarthy. Anybody think the smoke's real that he's going to go before the Colts pick? And there'll be 4 quarterbacks.
Unfortunately,
I have him going to Minnesota.
I got him going.
No. Fortunately,
one before.
No, Kelly Ferrari he should go earlier because there's some desperate QB. Desperate teams needing QB. So
yeah.
Let's hope
the Raiders are the Saints.
I think the combine is going to jump a lot of people and drop.
Could we actually have 5 quarterbacks go in the top 12?
Who'd be the 5th? Penix.
There's a lot of teams.
Michael Penix should be top 15, but he's not going to go top 15. He should be top 15.
What about Bo Nix?
Yes, he will be. They love him for some odd reason. He's old as hell, but he's going to go.
Michael Penix is not even.
Michael Penix, the left-handed quarterback, he does not deserve to go.
Penix is not even going to go in the first round.
It's sad.
Imagine you can't left-handed quarterbacks don't make it in the league, my guy.
What? You heard of Steve Young? Shut up.
Oh, and Michael Vick. It's only 2. Who else besides those 2?
Oh man, it's done, man. Listen to what you just said.
Who else besides those 2?
You just told me none, and I gave you 2. You just said none, I gave you 2.
Yeah, but besides them, that's
done.
okay.
We're just saying that there will be teams
what about Tua
or QB.
Shut up.
So
Tua is garbage, bro.
No, not Tua's garbage.
Garbage. Tua is
oh my
not garbage.
God, y'all are unbelievable in this place, man. I'm gonna start being like I'm undisputed now. I'm gonna start being mad because y'all know what the hell y'all talking about. Fuck it.
Love it.
I'm gonna
You
come in
named
mad.
3 guys. You named
You
3
told me none. I
people.
gave you 3. What the fuck you want?
3 is basically none in NFL.
Oh
What are you talking
man, yeah.
about?
We in a bad place, Colts man. We in a
All
bad
right,
spot.
all right. Back on track. After naming some
I'll,
combine
I'll tell you
names.
what. If we pick 3 or 4 picks in a row of offense, the Colts are going to be in a bad spot. I'll tell you that
Oh,
much.
really bad spot. Really bad spot.
You want to see,
Unless
man? It's gonna be Friday night lights in that goddamn stadium. You better
unless
come buckle
defense
up.
is addressed through free agency. Unless defense is addressed through free
It
agency.
won't be.
Offense sell tickets, guys.
Chris Ballard is our GM. There's not going to be
We're a run
anything
first
addressed.
team, man. We're going ball control, man. Fresh defense, and we're gonna get the ball back. You know how we do? We get turnovers, baby.
And Jerry Hughes, former first rounder, is still out there.
And
Bring him
again,
home.
Oh God.
you're banking on a
Talking
strategy
about
to
old
be
dogs. You want to go after Jerry Hughes?
Grenard or Burns. I like Grenard a lot, though, man. We can steal him from Houston, man. That's gonna be a real smack in their face.
Yeah.
I like.
All right, guys. Let's wind it down here. Put your hand up if you have any pressing things before we get out of here real quick. But in the meantime, remember to go check out Rose Inc. official, Rose Inc. PMU on Instagram, permanent makeup, eyeliner, microblading for your eyebrows, or Rose Inc. official. Go get your 3-inch fine line tattoo starting at just $120. Bigger pieces available as well at the right price point, and that is located just a half hour northwest of Indianapolis, Indiana, in Lebanon. Go check out Anita B Beauty LLC on the Google machine. All that'll pop up. But Rose Inc. official, Rose Inc. PMU on Instagram, Anita B Beauty LLC on Google. All right, plenty of hands. Let's go to the controversial Colt first, and then we will get to all hands and then get out of here. Go ahead, controversial Colt.
I just want to bring up the most important topic of the night, and that is the fact that Undisputed and I are not the same person.
I don't know. I think you're doing a voice changer.
I still don't believe
Wait,
it.
we're
I still
talking
don't
at the
believe
exact
it.
same time. At the exact same time. Same time.
AI and all this stuff. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need to see.
It's like
videos of
ventriloquist
both
shit where they can like talk at the same. Yeah,
Hey,
you're
I'm
just
just
really
happy.
talented.
Listen, I'm just happy that we have now made it due to Cole being a complete fucking slacker and canceling the show last week to watch IU fucking basketball for no reason.
Last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks. Valentine's Day is the worst day.
Hey, I had a show Thursday. Thank you very much.
Yes. Yep. And so since the
I missed that.
Since the merger of Derek of Bring the Juice and Undisputed to become cool again, we have made it 2 weeks without incident. It was only one show, but 2 weeks. So let's everyone just give it a little little clap, little pat on the back.
I don't know. Ray Love almost got you. I mean, does that count? Any Ray Love slander that we got to put the calendar back to 0?
No, because me and Ray, that's just how we fucking talk. Right. Now it is a little weird that he keeps referencing my booty. That is slightly odd. If that's your thing, that's your thing.
Wait,
not my thing.
You just took over controversial Colts time. So are you controversial Colt? Anyway, back to controversial Colt. Were you done with your point before your other took over? I kid.
His burner.
Hey,
anything else?
200 followers though. If I get to 200 followers, I'll do a face reveal.
Hey, whatever you want. I follow you.
Well, yeah, of course you do.
Right.
But I'm like 40 off, so go ahead and shoot them on over. Or don't, whatever. I also enjoy not having my face on here, so that's cool too.
Sure, the choice is everybody's. Go check them out. So controversial takes or controversial Colt with some takes controversially not all the time, but a fair amount. So go check him out.
Yeah, like 90% of the time people don't like my takes, and that's okay.
I don't know if the face reveal could be better than that sexy ass freaking profile picture that's in there right now.
Yeah, you know what?
Y'all be really
Controversial.
spicy in this joint. Y'all gotta calm that shit down too, man. I know y'all white boys do that
Say
shit.
some girls for the rest of us. No face
Joe,
reveal.
did you actually look at the picture, Joe?
Nah, I don't even want to look at it. I'm gonna take your word for it on the road.
No, you can see it in the freaking space.
That already is my face.
It's Will Levis as a Colt.
Will Levis as a Colt.
Y'all sick.
All right. Undisputed final thought, and then we get to the rest of the hands. Then get out of here.
I think that's about it. Just we made it without incident. We better focus heavy on defense and I don't know, raise
Combine.
smells.
Tracking that Florida State combine. Keep us updated.
Oh, dude, there's going to be listen, everyone from Florida State's going to ball out because that's what we do is we put people in the draft.
And what happened in the playoffs, man? Y'all didn't do too good. That was sad, man. That was sad.
I mean, we didn't go to the playoffs because of.
Your bowl game. My bad. Your bowl game. Who y'all got smacked by? Was that Georgia?
We 20.
Oh.
Okay, so
Oh my God.
17 starters didn't play. 29 total people didn't play. So
Hey,
I
man,
mean,
it's your program though, man. Hey.
Well, I mean, you blame college football for putting the portal before bowl games.
It was your quarterback. Your quarterback was hurt. Y'all said fuck it.
I mean, even without the quarterback, we could have beaten anyone if the playoffs actually. If we were in the playoffs, the whole team would have played, and there's no one that we couldn't beat.
How y'all looking this season? Y'all gonna be good this season?
Absolutely. We had one of the top recruiting classes, or it's like a 10th ranked recruiting class or something, maybe 11th. Since we lost KJ Bolden, it did drop. We were like 6th. And we have one of the top transfer classes as well.
And one more question before I go, man. So I'm about to become I'm a Miami fan, but I'm gonna become a Florida State fan about 5 more years. Y'all preparing that seat for Deion Sanders soon? Let's make sure he's coming home soon.
Absolutely not. Have you seen what Mike Norvell has done to the program to bring
Deion's
back?
coming soon. Deion's coming soon, man.
So he left us. So what he's been doing
All
to
right,
Florida
quickly.
State, he's left us sour in Florida State. He will never be their coach, and he's not as good as Mike Norvell anyway, so it doesn't matter. So fuck Deion.
All right, and there's your Florida State talk. Matt, go ahead. I guess you have 30 seconds for USC, and then the rest has to be Colts.
Exactly. So USC has the best, traditionally has the best players in NFL history. So Taj Washington, watch out for him. And then also left-handed quarterbacks are very rare in NFL. That's all I got to say.
Oh, good point. Who was the guy, Matt? Was it Todd Marinovich, left-hander out of USC?
Todd Marinovich, yes, one of the Bills. Yeah,
damn. His dad just drove him crazy. What a 30 for 30 doc that was, man.
But USC literally has the best players in NFL history. It's a fact. It's a fact.
OJ,
and I think Florida State's like 3. I think Florida State's like 3 too.
Marcus Allen. So do the Hoosiers.
What about Miami? 5-time champ.
Oh, Miami's too. Miami's right behind USC.
Okay.
I'm not denying
Let's
that.
make sure we in the building. Okay.
I'm not denying. What about Troy Polamalu? I'm not denying that though. Ronnie Lott, USC is stacked, bro.
Dude, we have if you look at the amount of 10-win seasons and everything for the amount, you look at 10-win seasons. And a lot of these programs have been, Florida State's only been a program for 70 years. A lot of these teams have been programs for 130, 140 years, and we are up there with the majority of them. So
Florida State's definitely up there. But USC has the most Super Bowl winners, by the way.
Hey, I got a question for ColtsFanCole.
Sure, go ahead, Blue Nation.
Hey, I know what's it called? Indiana U.
Yeah, IU, Indiana University. Yeah.
Don't y'all have that running back? His dad's he's a WWE manager.
Yeah, Declan McMahon. So he actually brought an IU official WWE title belt, and it's like the turnover chain. We use it for the turnover chain. So shout out Declan. He's a preferred walk-on, so tough for him to get much playing time. It looks like, but hey, you never know. The McMahons always find a way to pull some crazy stuff off. So hopefully he gets some.
I would love to see a man play in Indianapolis.
Oh, that was a cheap shot.
Let's moving on. Yeah, Blue Nation. Thanks for that quip. Go Hoosiers, please. God, this is the season. I think.
Hey, is that Shane's son? That's not Vince's son.
Shane's
is that
son.
Shane's son?
Shane's son.
Oh, okay, all right.
His other son's going somewhere too. I just saw that. I can't. remember.
From where Josh Downs went to college at.
He's going to North Carolina? Okay.
Yep.
That's right. Is it football? Do you remember?
Yes, it is football.
Cool.
He'll be playing safety.
Cool. Let's get to Augustine and then Julian, and then we'll round it off unless anybody else has a hand. Augustine, go ahead. Augustine, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, all good.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that probably we will start seeing undisputed campaigning for the Colts changing the name into the Indianapolis Seminoles. So better watch out for that.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, if one of these players can produce for us, like obviously the only Florida State guy I can really think of is Bjorn Werner for the Colts, and that didn't turn out super
Xavier
well.
Rhodes?
But yeah, well, yeah, we signed him, but
We didn't draft him
yeah.
though.
Trying to think, not really. Yeah.
There's not too many Florida State players that play for the Colts.
Jamin.
A lot of USC players. Those remember Stanley Avili?
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
And we need to keep it that way. Let's
Philly
keep it that
Malala.
way.
I like
Exactly.
him.
Yep.
He
And
had
then
promise. I like him.
MPJ.
Or we can draft Florida Gators who turn out to be bums and finish one game. So.
Hey, that's it. No more undisputed on this one.
Hey, Keon Radcliffe was a beast for us. So.
There you go. All right, Huyen, and then Joke, and then we'll get out of here. Huyen, go ahead. You get 30 seconds for enter since everybody else is talking about their college team.
No, it's fine. I don't need that. I just one for sure. If it ever changes to the Colts cinema, I'm leaving. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't need that bum school to be labeled in our franchise. Second, Cole, did we ever figure out what happened to that other group chat?
No, I don't know. It had like 40 people. I don't know who even created it. But yeah, no, because I DM'd Stats Matt. He was in it too. And somebody else. Yeah, I think Drake and Logan might have been in it too. And they all just dropped off. So I guess whoever admin was must have deleted it.
Wait, how long ago was this?
Oh, month, if that.
Oh, I remember when I had the war against the group chats for a while last summer. That was pretty funny.
That was insane times. Yeah, that was back before people got your. I mean, it's not a shtick because I think you're actually messed up, but you got who you were.
Dude, I would literally get all the logs from that chat, and like that chat literally remade itself like 3 or 4 times because I just kept getting everything in it. Like anytime I would tweet anything, all my tweets would end up in there. I'm like, dude, I'm not that cool, guys. I mean, I am, but Jesus.
Yeah, that's I prefer
Hey, Cole.
to seek
Cole.
out
So we still got
undisputed, not
Cole. We still got Terrell Bynum from USC as well.
Terrell Bynum. There you go. Gosh, there was a back too. I'm wanting to say. Nothing comes to mind off top of head. And
from SC?
Yeah, I think we had a running back from. Maybe not.
I don't think so. I don't think we have a running back. If we did, that would have been miles ago.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Anyway, let's get to Joke. Last quip before we get out of here. What's up?
Yeah, just quick question about draft. This is draft season, man. Can we all come to consensus? This is draft season. Who's going to be the first ballot Hall of Famer out of this draft class? Who's the one person who's
Caleb
going to be
Williams.
the first ballot?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Every Florida State player.
I think it's going to be Marvin Harrison too. I was
Caleb
thinking
Williams.
Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
That's a good one too. I'm
the
thinking
only
Marvin.
thing with Caleb though, like, I mean, I just don't trust
first
the
ballot,
Bears.
not a Hall. First ballot.
I think
Caleb Williams.
The pressure will get to him. I really think the pressure.
I don't even think it's that. It's the Bears. Like that's.
If he goes to the Bears, he will
Bears.
never get a Super Bowl on the Bears. They've never.
He'll get a Super Bowl in the next. I think within the next 8 years he'll win a Super Bowl on the Bears.
Wow.
I will bet you any amount of money that doesn't happen.
We could do that, Nick. We could bet. Bet, Nick. I'm telling you right now, that guy is so good. He's a generational player like Peyton Manning. People said that about Peyton Manning went to the Colts, right?
Yeah, but the Bears have never been able to have consistent QB play. Like, and part of it is I think it's.
And they're finally going to get it. And they're finally going to get it.
The weather. They've never had a 4,000 yard passer. It's just they
Do you
are
really
just.
believe
It's
terrible. Coach, though?
It's terrible ownership.
His coach is Eberflus.
Right.
Come on,
they
guys.
needed Harbaugh.
Okay, he's not going to be his coach rest of his career. Are you kidding me? Like,
but then
they got the weapons.
Yeah, but then
they got a pretty good offensive weapon. They need to get an O-line. They'll be fine.
Like he's obviously the best quarterback in this draft. Like nobody's disputing that. But like look at Fields, what he went through. Yeah, Fields wasn't even close to the prospect that Williams is. But like the Bears don't know how to run an organization, especially build around a good quarterback.
Well, hey Cole, you know what the thing is that everybody said about the Colts before we drafted
It's true.
Peyton, dude. And look at things turn around.
That is
It just
true.
you got to build to the draft. It takes time, but it's gonna happen.
Dude, I mean that team is like they have like they have a
They have weapons.
They have a top 10 tight end. They have a top 10 tight end. They have a top 10 receiver. They have a middle of the league line.
Yep.
They've got decent tackles. It's just Justin Fields sucks.
Top 10, top
He just
15.
looks
He won't
terrible.
top 15. DJ Moore top 15.
Okay, top 15, whatever.
That's fine. That's good enough. That's good enough.
To win a Super Bowl and the first
He's gonna be
ballot, I
fine.
don't know. In 8 years, I don't know.
I mean Justin. No,
Hey,
I'm just saying,
that'll be
I'm
the
just saying
first
Justin
non-Colts
Fields
jersey
sucks.
I ever
I'm
buy.
just saying Justin Fields sucks. I'm not saying any. Caleb Williams will not take the Bears to a Super Bowl. I can tell you that.
I'm telling you right now, Nick. Within 8 years.
Listen, I live in the Chicago market. I have to deal with Bears fans all the time.
That's fine. You can live in
You
can live in Egypt. It don't matter.
Trust
It's gonna
me,
happen.
I know about the Bears. I know how they're run. They will never be.
I'm rooting.
Are they getting a new stadium
for
or
your
not?
boy. I'm rooting for your boy Matt, but
I appreciate that, Cole. I appreciate that, Cole.
It's just the Bears, man. I'm so
That'll literally be the first Colts non-jersey I ever buy. Would be Caleb Williams.
So you really think he's a game changer like that? I know he's pretty damn good, but I don't get game
100%.
changer.
I would rather him go to the Commanders because they're set up at least decently. But if he goes to the Bears, he'd be fine. He'd be good.
Yeah, just gotta get some more pieces.
They are getting a new.
Look what
stadium,
CJ Stroud did on the Texans. Look at CJ Stroud did with the Texans. It takes one player to change the dynamic of a team, dude. That's all it takes.
You right?
Yeah, he did have a good coach though. I mean, Eberflus.
He got a Hall of Fame left tackle. Texans got some shit, man.
But that's what I'm saying. You got to build to the
Texans got
draft,
some
bro.
shit, man.
Chicago's got pieces. They got.
They
pieces.
have more.
They don't got more pieces like Houston got.
Yes. Well, no. Stroud made those pieces, man.
Man, Larry
Bears
Tunsil was a
have
Hall of
better
Famer
pieces
before
than-
they stopped.
I don't know.
Dude,
Tank
Texans were
Dell
terrible.
Was a
Texans
rookie.
were
They made him. I mean,
Man, Tank Dell been producing, man. Nobody just gave him a chance. He played at Houston. He been killing.
But what I'm saying is, who's to say the Bears won't get a dynamic receiver? Like if they get Taj Washington, bro, he's basically Tank Dell 0.2.
I don't know about that, but okay.
All right, guys.
Bro, trust me, Caleb's gonna be fine.
Yeah, let's fun times at the combine too to see, quarterback, wide receiver drills on that Saturday. So I don't know who's all throwing, who's in, who's out, but nonetheless should be a fun time. Keep it in Indy forever, and that'll do it for the ColtsFanCole show. Appreciate everybody hopping on here as always. Had a couple new guests on too. Always fun to chop it up with new blood and of course the OG regulars on here. Can't thank you enough for continuing to hop on here. Love doing it on Wednesday. Yeah, last week took off and didn't think anything too crazy had happened to keep going. But, we'll continue these through the offseason. After the combine, we'll have more to talk about. After free agency, we'll have more to talk about. And then it's draft season, smokescreen season, and hopefully sprinkle in some good free agent signings as well. So catch me here on Twitter Spaces every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Every halftime post game in season. Every breaking news event as well. And catch the show now on Spotify and YouTube. You can see me just aimlessly tossing the Ryan Deem autographed football to myself on here. So appreciate everybody. Go check out Rose Inc. Rose Inc. Official on Instagram. Rose Inc. PMU. Google Anita B Beauty LLC for all your tattooing and fine line work needs. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week, unless there's any breaking news during the combine. See you, everybody.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.